Good morning. Good morning. I know we're just getting ready. It's giving 2/10, kind of energy now. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, we're getting there. It's now 4/10. Good morning. Okay, have we had breakfast? I need to even. Have we had breakfast? No. How many people said no? Let me just note our faces so that I can give up my breakfast for you. Okay, you've not eaten breakfast? You've also not had breakfast, sir. Okay, noted. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. First, let me say thank you for making it down here. We're delighted to see you. We are honored. And I want to warmly welcome you to the Family Wealth Conference 2025. First, if you're excited to be here, can I see your hands up here? I know it's a very small room, but sometimes the small rooms are where the biggest decisions are made. Do we all agree? The small rooms are where the best of decisions are made. Life-changing decisions, policy-making decisions. The smallest rooms are where the largest decisions are made. All right. Once again, good morning, everyone. I want to warmly welcome us to the Family Wealth Conference 2025. I want us to know that in a world where wealth creation, management, and legacy planning are paramount for families across generations, the Family Wealth brings together I want us to know that this conference is essential and needful. My name is Ogunkola Ifeoluwa Esther, but you can call me Adasa the Compare without comparison. And it is my distinct pleasure to be acting and working as a compare for the Family Wealth Conference 2025. I think I deserve a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. First, I want us to look to our left and look to our right. Tell your neighbor, you're welcome. I want us to look to our right and look to our left. Tell your neighbor, you're welcome. Then I want you to also do something. Look at them from head to toe. Tell them something nice about their appearance. Do you like their tie? Do you like their blazers? Do you like how they smell? Do you like their smell? Tell them something sweet. Tell them something sweet. Your earrings. Oh, that's so cute. I like your blazers. You're welcome. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Today we're going to be learning. We're going to be relearning. We're going to be unlearning. And most importantly, we're going to be networking. I mentioned the other time that the best of decisions are made in the small rooms with the 1% of the 1%. And that is why we all have gathered for the Family Wealth Conference 2025, brought to you by the Nigerian News Direct. I think the Nigerian News Direct deserves a round of applause for putting this together. Every day the world is growing, and wealth creation, wealth management is becoming something very, very important. We're about to get started in full force, but before then, I want us to do a bit of climate setting so that we can be, comfortable with each other. I already told you my name. I told you I'm a professional event compare, and that's why I'm here this morning. So when I bring the microphone to you, I want you to tell us your name, what you do, and the expectations for today. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, thank you. So I'm going to be starting from the left-hand side. So I want you to tell us your name, what you do, and your expectations for today.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. My name is Engineer Sani Dayo Adedokun, as you can see. And I'm an educationist. I run a school, and I have a company that does consultations in regards to education. And as regards to today's program, I believe I'll be able to learn, insightful discussions with the panelists here. And I believe that it's going to be a good one for everyone as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Just a round of applause for him. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to come to the side of the hall. Your name, what do you do, and what are your expectations for today?
My name is Odiase Fortune. I'm a real estate consultant. I'll be expecting positive things. I will learn, and I'll learn from big people in this gathering.
All right, a round of applause for him. A better round of applause, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I heard that real estate people make a lot of money. I think I should leave my job and join you guys. I think I want to build wealth too. I'm trying to build generational wealth. So I think I should go into real estate. Do you advise me? It's for everybody. Thank you. All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma. My name is Matthew Oluwatobiola-Deji. I'm a business consultant and also a pastor. So I'm here to receive all from this meeting. Thank you.
You are here to receive all. He's not even leaving any behind. Please, a round of applause for him. Okay, I'm going to move to the side of the hall. Hi, good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Okay, Abimbola Lawal, and I am an executive director of Seed Africa Initiative for Youth Development, a non-governmental organization. And of course, yes, I am attending with my husband, actually, Gio Lawal, and I hope to as well receive all from today's conference.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. A round of applause to her. That's the beautiful wife of our keynote speaker for today. All right, I'll do two more persons, and we'll get started officially from the beginning. So, hi, good morning.
Hi.
You look very beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. Your name? My name is Ibiami Favor. And I'm a social media, anything that has to do with social media and videography.
Thank you. We need you here today. Thank you so much for coming. All right, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get kick-started officially. Now that we know each other, we know what we do, I believe that you could meet your next collaborator or your next business partner in any room, no matter how small it is. At least I remember that he said he's an educationist. I remember that he said he's a real estate consultant. I also remember that she said she's the executive director of a non-governmental organization. And that is why I said rooms like this are where the biggest decisions are made. Officially, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started. And again, I want to welcome you to the Family Wealth Conference 2025. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to learn. Because in 2025, it's really hard to see people come out to learn. When it's not party, some people are not there. But look at us, the 1% of the 1%. And I think that we deserve another round of applause for ourselves. I mentioned the other time that this is a world where wealth creation, management, and legacy planning are becoming to get paramount for families across generations. And the Family Wealth Conference has brought together thought leaders, business owners, experts to talk about a very important topic, family wealth. And like I said, this conference is timely, it is important, and it is needful. Once again, my name is Ogunkola Ifeoluwa Esther. You can call me Adasa the Compare without comparison. And I'm a professional event compare and a communications expert. And it is my distinct pleasure to be your compare for the Family Wealth Conference 2025, brought to you by the Nigerian News Direct. I think Nigerian News Direct deserve another round of applause for that. Thank you very much. All right, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like us to get started into the order of the day. We've gotten to know each other, we've networked, and I believe that the event would also end with networking. And it's time for the opening remarks to be delivered by our chief hosts for today, the CEO and Managing Director of Nigerian News Direct. He would be delivering our first welcome address for the Family Wealth Conference 2025. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ibiyemi Matthew. Like I said, he's the publisher and executive director of the Nigerian News Direct. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adasa. Good morning, everybody. So I welcome everyone here. Our guest speaker, the keynote speaker, the panelists, and every other person I registered for this conference. It gives me a very great honor to welcome you to the inaugural edition of the Family Wealth Conference. The Family Wealth Conference is more than an event. It's a conversation about legacy, continuity, and the future. And the conference is one that is very close to my heart because it also touches me. I was telling one of the panelists this morning that I'm also here to learn. News Director was founded by my father in 2009. And then when he passed on in July 2023, I took over ever since then. So this conference is actually also for me, as much as everyone also here is here to learn. So too often in our part of the world, the story of wealth is the story of one generation built with passion, but is lost with silence. Businesses that should outlive their founders disappear. Estates that should empower children end in disputes. Dreams that should grow die too soon. But today we've come together to rewrite that story. The theme of this year's conference challenges us to think differently. How do we not only build wealth, but also preserve it? How do we transfer it? How do we make it a blessing beyond ourselves? Today, we are privileged to have some of the brightest minds in finance, business leadership, and governance here with us. Our keynote speaker, Mr. Gio Lawal, co-founder and CEO of Co-Apt, will set the stage with insights that combine experience, innovation, and strategy. Likewise, our distinguished panelists, Dr. Bumi Bajomo, Mr. Dele Alimi, Dr. Susan Oluchi Agu, and Mrs. Demi Oshunshino will bring together perspectives that cut across markets, institutions, and real-life practice. And together they'll guide us into conversations that actually matter. But beyond the speeches and beyond all the discussions we're going to have today, my hope is for all of us here to live with three things. First, a clearer vision. 2, practical steps that families, entrepreneurs, professionals can take to build structures that outlive them. Then the third point, a renewed commitment. A renewed commitment not to let our stories die with us. A renewed commitment not to let our businesses die with us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's engage. Let's ask questions. I already have questions I want to ask during the panel session. Let us commit and let the wealth of nations be built here today. Not just in our hearts, not just in our minds, but in our homes and in our families. Once again, on behalf of News Direct, I welcome you to the Family Wealth Conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our chief host for today. Thank you very much for that insightful welcome address. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that you're in the right room for conversations on family wealth. And today our speakers, our panelists were carefully curated and carefully picked for this conversation. So I want to assure you that we are in for a great ride today. It's time for our main keynote speech for the day. And before I read his profile, I want you to know that this man is the best man for the conversation, the best man for this keynote address, and the best man to deliver an amazing keynote speech to amazing people like us. Our keynote speaker for today is no other person than the phenomenal, the excellent, the exceptional the brilliant man, Mr. G.O. Lawal. And I would like to crave his indulgence to please stand while I read his profile. Please put your hands together. We can do better. That's our keynote speaker for today. G.O. Lawal is a result-driven, social impact-focused digital transformation strategist, designing and delivering high-impact programs at the intersection of technology, social development, and entrepreneurship. He helps organizations and professionals translate ideas into scalable digital solutions that catalyze change and create measurable outcomes across Africa. As the co-founder and CEO of CoApt, a social impact-focused technology and digital media company that empowers change makers and organizations with tools, resources, and digital ecosystems to scale their impact. Geo has built platforms and partnerships that accelerate visibility, collaboration, and resource access across the development sector. He is also the founder of Seed Africa Initiatives for Youth Development, a non-profit committed to leveraging technology and advancing youth development under his leadership. Seed Africa launched the Artificial Intelligence Revolution Youth Project, which has trained over 600 Nigerian youth in practical artificial intelligence applications to solve social challenges while reaching 3,400 students across 5 tertiary institutions in Lagos, equipping the next generation with future-ready skills. With a portfolio spanning a decade, managing projects worth over $2 million in partnership with global funders like USAID, ActionAid, IFES, NDI, Ford Foundation, and the MacArthur Foundation, Geo brings expertise in program design, project implementation, research, monitoring and evaluation, impact storytelling, and resource mobilization. He's equally skilled in digital design, web development, content strategy, and social media management. He blends creativity with strategy to drive visibility and engagement for social missions. As a digital inclusion advocate and capacity building expert, Geo is a sought-after speaker, trainer, consultant, and program host, regularly facilitating the high-level dialogues, youth-focused conferences, and civic engagement forums. He lives by the personal philosophy of life: live in fulfillment every day, inspiring thousands to live with purpose. In conclusion, Gio Lawal is also the Vice President Project, United States Government Exchange Alumni Association of Nigeria. He is a 2023 Tony Elumelu Foundation alumnus, a 2022 Fellow Carrington Youth Fellowship of U.S. Consulate Nigeria, and he is also a board member, Initiative for Women and Girl Child Rights Advancement, Abuja. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I believe that our keynote speaker deserves a resounding applause as he comes on stage to deliver his keynote speech for the Family World Conference 2025, brought to you by the Nigerian News Direct. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I thought we are here for Family Wealth Conference, and when I heard the word wealth, I feel like, okay, I'm actually here to speak to billionaires and millionaires. So good morning, everyone. All right, so let's make it, like the billionaires that we are. All right, so I actually, let me start by for saying thank you so much to Nigerian News Direct for the opportunity, to be part of this year's edition of the Family World Conference. I must say that when I got the invitation, let me make a confession first here. I had to sit myself down and ask myself questions like, okay, I hope these people did not think I'm a billionaire somewhere. Okay, maybe I should ask my guy here. Because I'm like, okay, I hope they didn't think I'm a billionaire. But guess what? I'm also a billionaire. I hope you guys are not thinking the way I'm thinking. I'm also a billionaire. Okay, there's a part that was missing. Though at the point I felt like, do you actually need to read all those things? I didn't even actually send all that. But there's a part that's missing. I'm also a pastor. Yeah, I'm also a pastor. And so when I say I'm a billionaire, you may not see it, but I've seen it. So I'm a billionaire. All right, thank you so much. It's nice being here. This morning, quickly, for about 30 minutes, the time allotted to my to this keynote speech, I'll be speaking on the pillars of family wealth. The pillars of family wealth: building, managing, and sustaining prosperity across generation. Let me start by first appreciating, our hosts, for the continuity of the legacy. I had to go online to check out about News Nigeria, Nigerian News Direct rather, and I never knew that it was actually your dad. I saw the poster on the website. That it passed on 2 years ago, 2023, and I go, oh, and that name actually, I feel like I know that name when I saw Big Sam. I think Big Sam, right? I was like, I know that name. So now hearing you talk about you continuing that legacy, now it then clicked to me like, oh, now I get why we are here. So for me also, I'm also here to learn. So I'm here to unlearn, I'm learn and relearn. So I'm actually learning new things, just seated there, just like 10 minutes that we've just started this conference. I've actually picked a lot. So I'm going to be re-emphasizing some of the things, he had said. Even though he didn't really dwell on them, I'm going to be emphasizing them here today. So quickly, I'll be talking about two major things. Number one is why family wealth matters. Times I think I will be doing more facilitation rather than just speech. Are we together? So now when we hear the word wealth, that one acquire. All right, please can we give me a round of applause, please? All right, so I know billionaires don't really, they don't stress themselves. They don't. So you can but try to make it a little bit encouraging. Let's give me a round of applause, please. All right, thank you so much. Now, from generation to generation, wealth can either vanish or multiply. Now, the question is, which will you want it to be? That after the legacy you've built, after years of your hard work, how many of us want to be wealthy here? How many of us want to be wealthy? Hello? Okay, I know some people are already billionaires, actually. So maybe but for some of us who are probably still billionaires in Naira, we want to be billionaires in dollars, then maybe move it, or maybe move it up. Who wants to be wealthy here? Okay, but how many of us want to be rich? Want to be rich here? All right, thank you so much, sir. Some of us, we are no longer using our hands. You don't want to be rich? All right, I want to be rich, and I said I want to be wealthy. Now, the question is, what exactly is now the difference between riches and wealth? I don't know if you've ever thought about that question. You will hear people say, oh, that man is rich. And you hear, oh, that man is wealthy. What differentiates them? Now, does it mean, or let me put it this way, wealth is beyond riches. You can be rich and not be wealthy. But you can be wealthy. Not you can. Once you are wealthy, you're actually rich. I don't know if I'm speaking to somebody here this morning. Now, like I said, I'm a pastor, so I'm going to be making some emphasis on some scriptural. I'll be making references to the scripture. Well, pardon me, please. Don't worry. I'll try not to preach, right? I'll try not to preach. All right, so now, the year itself is like when my great-grandfather, and I wonder how were these companies sustained till now. You look at Coca-Cola. I'm sure probably some of us probably already drank Coca-Cola this morning, right? How, you're shaking your head. So how were they able to sustain that might? Because it's not just a company that is just there. It's It's a big corporation. It's a mighty organization. It's a mighty company. How are they still able to sustain till now? That is the question. And that is one thing, not the question rather. That is one thing that is still missing in this part of the world. Ability to sustain wealth. Ability to, how do I put it? The transfer of wealth from one generation to another generation. It might interest you to know that only 20% of companies in Africa and Nigeria outlive the second generation. I will try not to mention any name. There's a popular, a once richest man in Nigeria. And every time I remember this, it kind of saddens my heart that this man at the point was very, very rich. Very, very rich. Extremely rich. Extremely rich. Just like the way when you think about Dangote of today, is the way you think about him. Now, he's no longer there. The question is, all the companies, the wealth, I think I need to change it now. The riches, the money. Now, how many of them are still in existence? Virtually none. None. Like I said, I'm not going to mention any name, but I think some of us, might be able to picture what I'm talking about here. Because at times, I guess there's a particular bus stop and that's named after one of his company. And every time because of what I do, I always get to go there regularly. And when they mention the bus stop, I just ask myself, so after this whole wealth and after this whole money, riches, then what else? Can you, after you are gone, 10, 50, 100 years after, what it is you're doing now, is it sustainable? Can your 5th generation, 7th generation, can they thank you because of what you've done? Because of the legacy you've built? Let me move on quickly because of time. I'm trying to... Please help me out. Once it's like 15 minutes to my time, please just signal to me. Please, it's very, very important. Now, beyond money, beyond the assets, beyond the real estate, the businesses, the investment and other things, it is important for us to know that first, our assets is our mental, our mental assets is first the most important thing we need to pay attention to. Now, why I'm saying this is because most of the things that helps us to sustain wealth start from the mind. It starts from the mind. If you do not have the right mind that looks forward to sustainable wealth, then you will be running what it is you have now as just me, myself, and I. I tell people that the company you're running, the business you're running, if you cannot go on vacation for 1 month and things will not collapse, then there's something wrong somewhere. And some of us, we have this my team mentality. If someone else's vision cannot find expression in your vision, then there's something wrong somewhere. That means you are not building to last. You are only building for the present. You're only building for short term. It is important for us to note that for you to have a lasting legacy, you shouldn't just think of building for now or for yourself. You're thinking of building for the next 50 years. It means that the way you think, the way you look at things, your approach must be different. Now, guess what? The greatest asset is your time. The greatest asset. In fact, if there would be anything that should be attached to wealth, in my own definition, I would say it's time. And I try to, give time meaning. Why should you pay attention to time? Number one, the T, like I have here, is, your talent. We have a lot of young people here. Your talent. You can use skills as synonymous, to that talent. That thing that you have now, how are you making use of it? What are you building with it? Now, pardon me, please. Mr. Matthew, right? Mr. Matthew. Now, Mr. Matthew, I'm sure that why is that? I think Prince Sam. Prince Samuel, founded this wonderful company. Mr. Matthew didn't just wake up one morning, right, to just say, okay, you know what, let me get this done. It means that he must have equipped himself with the right knowledge. He must have equipped himself with the right skill. He must have equipped himself with everything that is needed, to get to the point where he can now take over. So now, when we are building for the future, when we are building a legacy, you are not just focusing on your own talent, on your own skill, but those around you. I'm going to get into children and all that. Now, pardon me, I think it's better for me to once again recognize the presence of my wife. I thought about it like, okay, this is called Family Wealth Conference. And how you be talking about Family Wealth Conference and my wife is just somewhere there doing her own stuff. I said, okay, you know what? Like, hey babe, can we let's come up together? Don't mind me. I like, let me try and focus. Let me try and focus. All right. So thank you so much for coming there. All right. So the point is, those around you, those you want to hand over to, are they parts of what you're building? Are they part of it? Now, when she introduced herself, she said she's the executive director of South Africa Initiative for Development. Now, I founded South Africa about 6 years ago. But I felt like, there are a lot of other things, actually. But I feel like I can't just be the one to keep leading this thing. Somebody else have to come in. And of course, if there's anyone that has been there from the days of I think, and I wake her up and tell her this, I have this idea. She knows better than any other person. And I always tell everyone around me that, my children from the age of 15, must, let me not say must, by the age of 15, should already have the skill to run a business. I'm not saying that that's when they want to start learning. No. Like by that time, I can hand over a business to say, okay, you know what? You are leading this, and I can go and sleep. And I can say, oh, babe, you know what? Let's go on vacation for 3 months. And a 15-year-old boy is there running the stuff. Are we together? Now, this is what, the mindset we need to actually, start thinking about. By the way, I need to correct something, which is very, very important, actually. Transfer of wealth or building legacy actually does not necessarily have to be with your family. It's important I put that out there. It's not compulsory. That's why I said it's not a must. It depends on if he wants to. That's my son. If he wants to, fine. If he does not want, in fact, I'll be glad to look for somebody else to do the job. Now, the point is, this is one mistake we in this part of the world we usually make. At times when we then want to build that legacy, we only look at it. Sometimes we get too selfish around it. If it is not my son, now there's nothing wrong in doing that. But the question is, that child, are you nurturing that child in that process as you are building? A lot of parents that are building businesses. Some of us, probably are guilty of this. It is just you. You are the only one that knows everything about it. The family, they don't have it. Your own is just to provide. I'm talking to men now. Your own is they just ask you for money, you provide. What you are doing, maybe your wife just know that, oh, okay, you're a banker. That is all. Do they have an idea of how the banking system works? So this skill is also very important, that you build it and those around you, you also impart it into them. Quickly, another one is the intellect. Now, intellect is quite different from skill. See, like I said earlier, for you to say you are building something that is sustainable, it starts from the mind. Now, what are you feeding that mind with? What are you spending time listening to, reading? How are you equipping your mental bank? If you stand to speak, what do you have to say? Can the knowledge you have sustain that you are building? The Bible said that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Right? Now, the foundation of your mind, in the depths of your knowledge bank, what do you have? Now, let me say, it is not just about the knowledge of that business alone. It is important that everything. I like watching movies. When I need to relax. At times, I watch movies, but I'm always very selective kind of movies I watch, because I want to watch movies that help to stir something up here. Are we together? And at times I like watching some of these. I'm not really a Korean fan. Okay, of course, the women here they will tell you better. Korean movies, the K drama, what they call it. Now, but there's something that when I get to see the Chinese and the Korean kind of movie, and especially the ones that are focused on business, there's a way they give you in-depth knowledge around, business politics, business governance, that even if you don't have to go for MBA, you can actually study and understand some of these principles by just watching these movies. So like I said, I don't just watch movies just to while away time. Because like I said, time is very important. So while I am watching that movie and relaxing, it must be contributing to something to me intellectually. Number 3 is moments. Moments. Now that you are here. Now, while you are thinking of 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, it is good to be futuristic. It is very, very important because that is why we actually seated here, in the first place. But every step, what they said a giant leap, starts with a step. So while you're thinking of 50 years time, what happens to now? That is why personally I believe in the philosophy of live in fulfillment every day, every single day. Yes, I have a very big goal, I have a very big vision, but I believe every action that I'm taking all contributes to achieving that bigger picture. Some of us, we set very big goals for our business, for our life, for our family, but we don't break them down into bits that we can then track one step after the other. Oh, we just have this very fantastic picture. I want to be a billionaire, which is very good. There's nothing wrong. I want to be richer than Dangote. Fantastic. God will help all of us. Right? But the question now is, have you gone to look at the steps that Dangote took one after the other? What steps are you taking one after the other? From that little task, from that, let me just sleep for under 1 hour. You're supposed to do something for 5 hours, but if let me sleep another 2 hours, I will do 3 hours. That means you're already cutting it off one after the other. And the last one is your energy. That's the last E. Your energy. The good thing is we have a lot of young people here, and at times people ask me, in fact, my co-founder usually asks me, at times he'll be like, Gio, where do you always get this energy from? How do you? And I tell people this. I say, see, I'm a young man. A time would come where probably to even walk, I'm not sure. Maybe you walk from here to that door. You will do like this. But now, I can decide that, you know what? I'm not driving. I'm going to drive from here to Ikeja. But at the age of 90, 100, I don't know. I'm sure maybe there are some people who can still do that. But I'm sure 90% of people at the age of 90, 100 will not want to dare drive from here to Ikeja. Right? So now, the energy that I have now, meaning that your energy will not always be there. It is part of the time. The strength that you have now, to build that thing, to see it that when the time comes that you just need to sit down, relax, and watch. The energy you have now, what foundation have you laid with it? Which is wealth. Health is wealth. Thank you so much, sir. Health is wealth. So what have you built with it? Now is the time for us, especially those of us who are young, to jump here and there. You are permitted to make mistakes. You are permitted, I say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. Well, I disagree, because even at 40, you can still decide, to rebuild. So, but if at the age of 40, it means that something is wrong actually. So my point is that the energy, the strength that we have now, we can utilize it effectively. Let me move quickly as I begin to wrap up. I can see my time is, I'm up already. So managing and transferring wealth quickly, I'm just going to give us this point as I close here. Number one, we need to put structure in place. And this structure for the business you're building, for that wealth you're building, for whatever it is that you're looking at having a very sustainable future for, it is important to have structures around it. Things don't just happen by chance. They don't just happen by just leaving it for chance to just, for it to just happen like that. You need to have structure around it. And you need to have systems that helps you around it. What systems are you putting in place? Like I said earlier, if you cannot take a break from what you're doing and things don't go wrong, then there's something that you're not really building wealth yet. Because others should be able to see the vision and run with that vision with you. That you can easily take a step back and others do what? No, lead the way. That shows that yes, you are truly leading. And it's not only talking about your family members, your staff, people that work with you. How empowered are they? Pardon me, I'm not just here to just focus on just family. I know this is Family Wealth Conference, but family goes beyond. It goes beyond just your biological brothers or children. Those around you, you can actually have people working for you or working with you. And they can be your family. That they will be ready to protect that business anywhere, any day, anytime. You have a family there. Are we together? Then have a legal framework to protect that interest. Let me say this. I think there's no better way to put this than to say that it is not let me put it this way. In this part of the world, a lot of time people begin to plan legacy when they're on their sick bed. When it is time for them to go, is when they start thinking, okay, let me do this. If you ask people now to write will, this part of the world, write will. Are you telling me, are you wishing me to die? Are you planning for me to die? Why will I write my will? Hello. So we don't have to wait until when you get to the point where you are tired before you start planning. It is now that you have that energy that you start planning. Like I said, I have put it in my conscious and subconscious mind that my children at the age of 15 should be able to run a business. So, meaning that at what age do I want to retire? By the time I look at my age and I look at the age of my son, now, or my daughter, and by the time these children get to 15 years, how old will I be? By that time, I want to retire. I don't want to be jumping at the age of 60 and 70 when I have children that can actually take things up. So I don't even get my point. So but you have to be intentional about it, and it's not just out of the blues, but to do it in a structured manner. And one of them is through legal framework. It's very, very important to actually take that approach. Prepare your heads early. Differentiate communication, your spouses, your descendants, and start succession while LD. Why LD? Not why you are already tired and things are already about to collapse. Why your thinking faculty is still in sharp and intact. Plan it. That is how to build, a legacy. Like I said, the legacy is not something you just wake up to. No. It's not spontaneous. It's not. It is strategic. It is planned. It is intentional for us to actually get it. And finally, my call to action is, if you did not hear anything since that I've been saying, please, you need to probably hear this. Start the conversation today. Start the conversation today. Build systems, not just savings. Not just, I'm saving for the future. No, build systems for it. Involve your family early. Like I said, family doesn't necessarily have to mean your biological family. Either biological or non-biological, whichever way, start building it early. Seek professional help. And lastly, document your wealth journey. On this note, I'm just going to say thank you so much for this opportunity to share this moment with us. I look forward to more engagement on this session. Thank you so much. I remain Gio Lawal, and it is a pleasure to stand with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gio Lawal. Can we please give our keynote speaker a round of applause? It deserves a resounding round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that succinct but powerful keynote speech. All right, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want us to do something very, very interesting before we move on to the next phase of the program. The other time, one person introduced himself as a real estate consultant. Somebody introduced themselves as a social media manager. I want you to know that in this room, we have captains of industries. And we want to do a little bit of exercise, a mini business speech. You might be a business owner. You might do a 9 to 5. Anything you do, we want you to pitch yourself in the next 1 minute. So I need like 4 volunteers, your name. You never know. Like I said, the 1% of the 1% are the ones who are in this room. The captains of industry, the industry leaders, the experts are the ones in this room. And even if you don't win yourself something, you could win yourself some, business advice. On this table, we have 3 industry leaders. And you might just get the best business advice for today if you do not get a little grant. So I want us to volunteer for this. You say your name, introduce your business to us, do a powerful business speech in the next 2 minutes. Okay, let's do 2 minutes. Let me be very fair. 2 minutes for a short business speech. We have one person. 1, number 2, number 3. I want the female. The females, what's going on? One more person. Okay, so we'll have you first. I would like you to come on stage. Yes, on stage. On stage. Thank you. It's a business speech. You might think it's very small, but it is very significant. So please say your name, your business, introduce your business to us, and why you think that investors should invest in you as a brand or a business. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Stephen Oluwaseun-Dada. I'm a pastor and I'm a salesman. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to give us a piece of advice from what the last speaker has just given to us. Yesterday, I was listening to the radio, and something was coming up from the radio. And what was that? It has to do with the issue of a succession plan, where we have a lot of presently, the Nigerian government said unremitted dividends should be sent to a particular. If you look at me there, I went and carried all my distance so that I can be able to, so that government will not hit my money. Some of us, we are unable to transfer even that wealth system. Some of us have that wealth, but we are unable to transfer it because we did not start now. So if there's anything I want to chip in now, is that we should start now according to our last speaker. It is very, very, very important. A lot of wealth has gone to another people entirely on tap by the real owner. And you find out that the children of those people are suffering presently. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. We have you. You were number 2. Who's number 2? Okay.
All right. Thank you, Nigerian News Direct, for this opportunity. And thank you, the chief host, Mr. IBME. I really appreciate it. All right. My name is Matthew Oluwatobi Oladeji. I'm an entrepreneur and also I'm a pastor. I run a bookstore. So Revelation Only Bookstore. Presently, we are in Awe, Oyo State. And that is where I come from to attend this meeting. So in a nutshell, our vision in Revelation Knowledge Bookstore, we are reaching out to semi-urban semi-urban and rural area with educational materials presently. And at our community right now, we have imparted up to 10 secondary school and 15 primary school. So we are trying to selling the educational materials to them at affordable price, getting it directly from maybe like place like Lagos and Ibadan, and making sure that we reach out to people that need it at affordable price. So that is what I do as an entrepreneur. And also, I also run a company called Tolasma Company. We are into incorporation and partner with some law firm also. So thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him. So I give someone number 3. If you're number 3, please make your way to the front. Then we have 2 more people to pitch their businesses to us.
Good morning, sirs, and good morning, ma'am. First, I want to use this opportunity to thank the Chief Executive Director and other people seated here. I'm Odiase Fortune by name, real estate consultant. Where I started the journey back then in Federal University of Oye-Ekiti, where then I took the opportunity of taking properties from students, from real estate investors to short-let apartments, buying or selling of land for the indigenes then in Federal University of Oye-Ekiti. So I was like, this business is a bit, some people are buying this land. Some people are, okay, for instance, I issued a property on behalf of somebody, and the man bought it on behalf of his children in Federal University of Oye-Ekiti then. So real estate is like a wealth business on its own. You can transfer it to your children. I was like, how can I join into this real estate business so that people can also transfer wealth to their children through what real estate business? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. A round of applause for him. I think we have number 4. You're number 4.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Right, so I actually made a presentation slide, but there's no projector to view this, so I'm just going to run through it. So, how many of you have heard of catfish farming before? Yes. How many of you have heard of hydroponics farming? Hydroponics farming. Right. So I'm going to run you through this business. So currently, I have a catfish farm, a small catfish farm, right? So we sell at juvenile stage, and we also sell at maturity stage. So right now, because of this climate change and waste, he talked about sustainable wealth. So we're trying to see how we can reduce waste. So hydroponics farming basically is soilless farming. So the water from the fish pond is nutrient rich. So we're going to we plan to channel the water into farming. So let me just run through the problem statement briefly. Nigeria faces rising food insecurity. So because of farmers not being able to farm and all of that, people going to attack farms in Benue State and all of the insecurity in this country, our production of food has reduced drastically. So we have to, and there's hunger in the land. So we have to improvise. What can we do next to fit the solution? Hydroponics farming. It takes a shorter time to plant and to harvest. So within 6 months, you have your crops ready. So what I'm trying to do, so right now, since I have the catfish farm, so the objective of this is to increase food production, to reduce food insecurity, and expand our catfish farm, and establish an hydroponic bell pepper farm. So we're going to plant the red pepper, red bell pepper, yellow pepper, and green pepper through our hydroponics farm, and create multiple streams of income. So through the fish farming, we can sell at juvenile stage. When it's old, we can sell to the market, and we can also invest into dry fish production, right? So this project is also aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So it solves zero hunger, zero poverty, and climate action. So the business model for stream of income, catfish production, we planned for selling to fish farmers, mature catfish for household, dry smoke fish for long-term storage. Then, because we are going to channel the water into our farm for the bell pepper, so it's also going to raise revenue for bell pepper. So I had a diagram to explain this, but the projector, right? So and also the budget of the. So sustainability. So it's going to give 4 different strips of financial stability. The hydroponics farming is guaranteed to yield year-round production, and we have also a 3 to 4 years plan. So after scaling to bell pepper, we can also scale into looking at other vegetables. We can scale into planting tomatoes, cucumber, radish, and vegetables and perishable goods, because the waste from the fish farming can also be channeled into the fish pond. So that's just basically what we're just trying to achieve to solve food insecurity and problems. Thank you very much.
Can we please give her a round of applause? Did we all hear that elevator pitch? Like, she came ready. I mean, we didn't announce this before. We didn't talk about this. And it was just very spontaneous. And look at how she delivered with details. All right, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have one more person for this particular segment who would also be pitching our business and brand to us. And after that, our very distinguished guests on the front row, I would be passing the microphones to us. If we have anything to say to them, whether it's a business advice, support, mentorship programs, I would just pass the microphones to us. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oshokolo Atomlayo, and I'm the founder of UTL Cakes. We're a bakery situated in the city of Ibadan, and we offer baked goods to people generally. I mean, everyone here loves treats, cakes, donuts, different things. So our vision or our aim is to make our treats very accessible to the customers, and not just of any quality, but of very high quality. So we are trying to not just have an outlet, like a big bakery, but to have numerous outlets across the city. The first one is currently in place in the city of Ibadan, in the main, like one of the arts of Ibadan. And we're just looking for more investors, more funds to make this dream a reality, and to also create more jobs for young people, because me, myself, I'm a very young person. So to create more jobs, more remote works, to impact my generation, basically, in the way that I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A round of applause for all the brand owners and business owners who just speeched. I think it's something very beautiful if you're able to speak about your brand on the spot. It shows how prepared you are, and it shows that you're ready for opportunities that would come your way. In the next 1 minute, I'm going to be passing the microphones to our very distinguished guests on the front row to say something just to encourage the business owners who just speeched. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And I want to commend the business owners who have been brave enough to come out and talk about their businesses. Well, it's just for me to say something in 1 minute, and I'll say something that will kind of cut across everyone that has been here. Everybody talk about the Nigerian business environment and talks about how very tough it is. I can tell you the Nigerian business environment is not the only tough environment. Every business environment in the world is tough. And the only time you thrive is when you work in an environment that is tough. Because what that means is that some people are already being cut away from that environment. Because what they are seeing is the toughness. You are ventured into it because you are not seeing the toughness. You think it is somewhere that you can make money. Look at the young man that said he started property when he was getting property for students in Oye Ekiti. That looks so far away. But scale that business from Oye to Inye. Ekiti. From Iye Ekiti to Ado Ekiti. From Ado Ekiti to Ibadan. From Ibadan to Lagos. That is how businesses can scale. And the knowledge you will have gained from where will become very useful wherever it's going. So I want to say this. The lady that's talking about that talked about the fish farm, yes, wonderful. Now you have moved forward from just fish. You have looked at what other, in terms of the chain, what other things you can do. And as she was talking, it occurred to me that, look, I have maybe about 15 fish ponds. And I throw the water away every time I'm cropping. And I'm asking myself, so I've been wasting time and money. So it's just about resilience. It's going to be tough. Let me not fool you. No matter what the environment is, going to be tough. It's about resilience. It's about thinking, eating, dreaming your passion and continue to be on it. Don't stop. It's going to be tough, let me tell you. But when you start enjoying the fruit of your labor, it's going to be good. Thank you.
Wow, that was a business masterclass in 1 minute. It's a better round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate the CEO, Nigerian News Direct, and every participant here. Okay, I will not want to take much of our time. I'm a finance person, a banker, and people used to say in Yoruba, our bankers laun. And not that, we are not stingy. But from the onset, we've been cultivating the habit of savings. Try as much as possible. Whatever you earn every month, daily, weekly, save at least 20% somewhere. Married men, we have responsibilities. If care is not taken, you collect loan. You borrow to sustain yourself. So let's cultivate the habit of savings. Minimum 20%. Spread others on other things. It's really going to help. Talking on business sustainability, thank you for the, how will I put it? It is tough everywhere. This morning when I was talking to my guy, I told him, I said, one of my mentors used to tell me something. He would say, Sulaiman, in broken, don't give up. Who give up, now him fuck up. Before this program could come to life, series of nights, series of brainstorming, tiredness, discouragement. But at the end, look at it, because they never gave up. So please don't give up. Concerning transferring of wealth, sir, you were listening to the radio yesterday. Send all unclaimed dividends. Yes, because we are not knowledgeable enough. There's something we call trust or trusteeship in finance or in banking. It is not only will by me saying, okay, do you want me to die now? Okay, let me write my will. Okay, I'm giving BME the property I have in Ikoyi. I'm giving her the property I have at Lekki. No, there's something we call trusteeship. Trusteeship is you embedding your own property for a finance house to take care for you. Whether you are alive or you are dead. You can say, okay, after my passing away, this is who I want to give my property to. You already have it, not just will. We are only familiar with wills. And they will say, Daddy, Alpha, have you written your will? Please, I just want the property on the highland. That's all. No. There are ways to transfer wealth. It's not just property alone. Look at those dividends in the banks. The owner, the real investors are gone. But because their children, their families don't know they have investment. Sorry, I'm taking more time, please. they don't know their children. The families don't know that their father or somewhere else had an investment somewhere or a fixed deposit somewhere. So after the person has passed away, nobody to claim dividends. But when you put all these things under trusteeship, put it under a finance house, I can tell you, nobody will claim your dividends, even when you are no more, because you already have children, you already have family you want to give them to. And that is what we do. So let me just use this opportunity. My name is Sulaiman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Saw Capital Limited. We're not just doing credit facility alone. We do all of these things. Name whatever thing you want to do. I'm here to represent Dr. Bajomo. That is what we do in our finance house. All sorts of financial aspects, we do it. So your property, your unclaimed dividends, sir, you don't need to be carrying your documents around. They are safe. They are safe with us. If you want to do business, we can talk after the event. So once again, try and cultivate the habit of savings. My children, the highest is 10. I have 3 kids. Sorry, let me just do a live scenario. I grew up where we used to have all these abokis as a gate man. So this one we took then, he used to sit outside all the time doing nothing. So later he now called me and said, sir, I beg, I want to sell small things outside the house so it would keep me busy. You can see multiple stream of income. He's collecting salary from me and he's also selling things outside, earning outside. So I said, okay, no problem. So each time I come back, my children will say, Daddy, what did you buy? I want to buy something outside. I'll give them 200, give them 500. So one day when I was going home, I saw this local biggie bank. We call it Kolo in Yoruba. So I saw it. I bought 3 because there are 3 kids. I bought 3. I put 2 in the boots. I took 1 inside. I held it on I took 1 inside. When they saw it, they said, Daddy, what is it? I said, we call it Kolo in Yoruba, but this is biggie bank, the local biggie bank. They said, hey, this is for what? I said, instead of me putting money in my account, say, I want to, if I have cash, before I could drive to the bank, it's possible I spend the money. So I'll just put the money inside the Kolo. Today, I'm going to put 500 naira today. Tomorrow, I'll put 500 naira. Making how much? She said 1,000. She now said, Daddy, me too, I want to be saving. I said, all the money I've been giving you, you've been using it to buy biscuit, buy gala. So why do I need to give it? She said, no, Daddy, I will take this one. You can buy your own later. I said, no. So the junior one started crying. Where is their own biggie bank? So I had to go back to my boots, bring out the 2, now share. So today, she said, Daddy, give me money. You want to buy biscuits? No, I want to keep it. Once I give any of them money, they will go to their biggie bank and keep it. That is how to invest. So let's cultivate the habit of savings and investment. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for Mr. Suleiman. I mean, it took us back home. Lastly, for the contributions, we're going to be having the beautiful Dr. Susanna.
Well, thank you very much. For all the people that pitched their business, I want to say that, first, let me congratulate you. Why do I congratulate you? The fact that you're here, you saw that there's going to be a conference for family wealth and you made yourself available is already a step in the right direction. So I want to congratulate all of you. And for all the businesses that you have pitched, quite frankly, I'm impressed. To say that we're all young people and that we're already thinking investment and we're already thinking business, I'm actually very impressed. The only advice I will give is try, and just taking it from what the keynote speaker said earlier, structure is important. It might seem that what you're starting is small, but take it and have a structure in place. That is how it starts. And what do I mean? The gentleman was in the university, saw the need for, the hustle that students go through getting an apartment, and decided to key in. Start a structure. Can I tell you that I have In fact, while you were just pitching, someone came to my mind. Not far away, here in Lagos. He was a student in LASU. He was studying mathematics in LASU. Some 4 years ago, he graduated last year. When he came into the university to look for, he came with his parent, a father, to ask for an apartment. I have a client that has a hostel built. There is an estate right opposite Lagos State University. We manage the estate, the hostel facility for this person. So the gentleman came with his father to look for an apartment and eventually got a room self apartment. I forgot, maybe 350,000 naira then. Before that guy graduated, and I'm not making it up, before he graduated, he bought a piece of land in that estate. Just check if you doubt what I'm saying. There's a place, they call it post-housing, Nigerian Army post-housing estate. You can Google it. It's directly opposite Lasu Gate. So the person that built that house, the hostel we are managing, lives abroad. And so he consulted us to say, where can I invest? We advised, look, Lasu didn't usually have a standard hostel apartment. So you can actually build something like this. And so he did. We monitored the building and we managed it for him. So this young man, his name, I don't want to mention his name, but he was in school for 3-4 years. Within that period, with his sisters, and he had another sibling abroad, they bought a piece of land in that same estate. As I speak to you, they have a room self-con, 16, that's 32, but built by that guy. It started small. He saw the hustle of coming. So what you are doing now may seem small, but I'm telling you, I personally superintended over the building of what I'm telling you. The only advice I still give, have a structure in place. You see, it's the temptation is, I'm just doing it, okay, you collect money, you spend it that day, okay? No. Create the structure. How does it start? Have a name. Because you are 18, you're already in university, because you're 21, you can start a company for yourself. Call it a business. No, it is business you are running. Don't do it like, okay, another money for the boys, another money to spend. Start small and start keeping record. You see, even this investment you are looking for someone who will invest. If I'm going to come to you to invest, I want to see what you've done. And what you've done, you will start by showing me the inflows. So you have an account, you have a company, you have a company account that businesses that pertains to that business you are doing flow into that account. Any right-thinking person wanting to invest in your business will look into this. I'm not just talking about the real estate. I'm also talking about all other people who have pitched. Have a structure in place. It might seem small, but start anyway. Now, there's a gentleman that spoke about books, selling books to the rural and all of that. Fantastic idea. Very fantastic. In fact, there's no business that you guys have pitched here that is not fun, that's not good. I once did something maybe like 10, 15 years ago. It was a school where how we graduated. I graduated from a very rural area, by the way. So what we did was, let's call for fairly used books, right? And it was easy for us to gather from so many, and we sent it to them. They bought at very minimal and all of that. Selling where you are. The only advice I would do again, have a structure. When you have a structure, it is easier for you to partner with the press. They will take you more seriously when they see what you have created and what you are doing already. So, very fantastic. And then the lady that talked about hydro what again? I must confess I've never heard anything like that in my entire life. So you really educated me today. And you already have an intending investor. So when we leave here, be ready to talk to me, because I want to know how that business works. And honestly, if you give me the details and it is right, I might just be thinking of investing. Agribusiness is what I'm allowed to do by the way, I'm a lawyer, so you understand. Agricultural business is where everybody is going. Who is not eating? There's nobody. So I love your idea of sustainability. sustainable development goals of UN and everybody. I love it. I love the fact that you are not wasting anything at all in your production chain. So, and the fact that it is a lady pioneering this, I am gender biased.
Wow. I must sincerely say that Dr. Suzanne Agua has officially launched us into the panel discussion because that was powerful. Please, a round of applause for her. Thank you very much, Saz. Thank you, ma'am, for the very immense contribution. And I believe that the business owners and the brand owners who pitched must have gotten something from that segment. And I think that segment was very important. If we didn't do it, I probably wouldn't have liked it. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, Saz, for your contribution. All right, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sitting quietly and cooperating with us in this room and for sitting till this very moment. Very quickly before I call on our spoken word poet, there's a pre-event survey link to be filled. If you're registered for this event, I would like you to please open your Gmail app. There's a link to be filled, and there's also a post-survey link which will be filled after the event. I want us to fill that form. It is very important to fill it. We need the statistics, we need the results from that survey. Please take the survey in the next 30 seconds. Please do well to finish it. How many of us have received the link in our mails? Please, if you've received, just signify. Okay. If you registered for this event, then the link should be in your inbox. All right, thank you very much. While we're doing that, it is my distinct pleasure to bring on stage an amazing man who would be motivating us with the power of words and thought-provoking presentation. Please put your hands together for our spoken word poet for today, Mr. Wale Ibiemi. A round of applause for him as he comes on stage to deliver a powerful spoken word poetry.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today. I'll be reciting a poem. Our spoken word poet, billed to be here, is unavailable, so I'll be reading the poem. It's titled, Let It Be More Than Gold. You can turn to the person beside you, say, let it be more than gold. All right, so let's go. When you give them your wealth, don't just hand them the gold, hand them the story of how it was earned, of what it cost, and what it must never cost again. Do not just pass down the mansion without teaching them to open its doors wide enough for those still outside. Let them know a roof means nothing if no one is singing beneath it. Give them more than the land. Give them the names of those who once walked it barefoot and unrecognized. Let your legacy smell like the soil, not just the signature. Teach them that wealth is not just a fortress, but also a flame that can be passed on to others, and it should never be locked away while someone is shivering on the other side of the street. Say, this is yours now, but so is the world. Pass down the recipe, pass down the secret behind your mother's hum, the prayer your mother whispered when the rent was late, to make sure that never will rent be late again. Give them the language to name their blessings and their blind spots. Give them the courage to say enough to poverty. Do not raise them to be proud of the power. Raise them to be proud of their posture, how they lift others with whatever their hands hold. Because money is loud, but generational wealth comforts. But goodness is also a quiet drum that beats through generations if we teach our children how to listen. And when you are gone, turn to your neighbor, say, when you are gone, let them inherit not only the keys to your house, but also the strength in your spine, the softness in your hands, and the knowing, and the secret knowing that wealth was never meant to be hoarded. It was meant to be held like a promise. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Mr. Wale Ibiemi. Please, a round of applause for him. We need to encourage him. The The very interesting thing is I used to be a spoken word poet before I fully launched into media and communication. So that was very nostalgic. Please, a round of applause for him again. I know what it takes to put together words to inspire people. I had something very profound, and that was, do not just pass down the mansion. Pass them the key that holds it. It rang a bell. It was very thought-provoking. It was powerful. Thank you so much. And that was the essence of the spoken word poetry, to further reiterate the reason we're gathered here today for the Family Wealth Conference 2025. All right, I want to remind us again about the pre-event link. Please, if you know that you have filled the link, ladies and gentlemen, please, can I see our hands? If you know you have filled the survey link, can you please signify? Just one person, two. Okay, so if you do not have the link, maybe you did not register for the event or you did not get the link in your inbox. So I'm going to be calling out the details. So you can open your Safari or your search engine while I dictate the details of the link. Are we ready? Okay, so bit.ly /FWC 2025 feedback in capitals. So I'll do it again. bit.ly the slash symbol, FWC in capitals, no spacing, 2025 feedback in uppercase too. Again, bit.ly in lowercase, bit.ly in lowercase / FWC in uppercase, 2025, no spacing, feedback, no spacing in uppercase. For the last time, bit.ly in lowercase / FWC in uppercase, 2025, no spacing, feedback in uppercase, no spacing. Did the link go through? Yes. So please, I would like us to fill the survey link. It is very important. Thank you very much. Very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for that panel discussion where we get to interact, where we get to ask questions, where our panelists get to share from their wealth of knowledge. And I want us to be very prepared for this panel session. Again, I'd like to remind us that the Family Wealth Conference 2025 aims to address the topic of building and sustaining generational wealth within African businesses, particularly focusing on family-owned enterprises. And that is why we have the industry experts on this panel session. I'm going to be reading their bios so that we can know that they are the right person for the conversation. And maybe that would help us pay more attention to the conversation while it is ongoing. And of course, it's going to be moderated by a phenomenal host. But before then, I would like to bring our panelists on stage. But I want to implore us that as I read their bios and bring them on stage, I want us to welcome them with a powerful, resounding applause after reading their bios. The first woman I'm about to introduce is an amazing woman, powerful, phenomenal, successful, excellent. She's not just a legal practitioner, she's also a policy advisor and development consultant. I would like to crave the indulgence of Dr. Suzanne Ago to please stand as I read her profile. Please, a round of applause for her. I want us to listen carefully to this bio so that we can understand why she has to be on that panel. Dr. Suzanne Ago is a distinguished legal practitioner with over 20 years' experience, spanning across law, litigation, corporate advisory, regulatory compliance, dispute resolution, environmental law, and human rights advocacy. She is widely recognized for her integrity, strategic insights, and ability to deliver innovative governance and legal solutions at national and international levels. As a partner at Royal Heritage Lagos, Dr. Ago has led high-stakes litigation and arbitration. She has advised multinational corporations and foreign investors and provided governance consultancy to international development organizations. Her expertise bridges the intersection of law, policy, and sustainable development with a focus on climate change, gender equity, and post-conflict resolution. As a seasoned trainer and speaker, she has facilitated legal capacity building programs for multinational staff and contributed to policy reform initiatives. She is also an accomplished legal researcher and published author with works covering corporate law, environmental protocols, and international legal frameworks. Her key areas of expertise spans across corporate and commercial law, environmental and climate change law, international law and investment law, dispute resolution and arbitration, governance and policy advisory, women and leadership, legal reform, and corporate strategy. She has represented clients before the Supreme Court, oh my God, Court of Appeal and major arbitral panels. She has also advised on climate change policies and sustainable development strategies. She has published on topics including corporate governance, mortgage enforcement, and climate-induced migration. If I continue to read her bio, you would understand how powerful this woman is. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Suzanne Ago as she makes her way to the stage to be a part of this powerful panel session. She deserves a better round of applause. A better round of applause. Thank you. Please keep clapping till she gets on stage. All right, thank you very much. Our next panelist is another powerful man, a captain of industry, an industry leader, and of course, the right man for the conversation. This man is the Director General and CEO of Institute of Directors Nigeria, and it is my distinct honor to please crave his indulgence as I read his profile, Chief Dele Alimi. A round of applause for him. All right, thank you very much, sir. Chief Bamidele Abayomi Alimi is a journalist, a marketer, a communicator, and an administrator by training and vocation. He attended the Advanced Management Program of the Lagos Business School, Pan-Atlantic University, Lagos, 2012. He obtained a Master of Business Administration from Ogun State University, now Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, in 1998. And he earlier earned OND and HND in Mass Communication from the Polytechnic Ibadan between 1983 to 1988. The widely traveled professional has had over 3 decades of cognate professional experience, holding key positions in media, finance, marketing communications, manufacturing, trade promotion, business membership organization, and the service industry. He served as Director, Member and Trade Promotion, and later Director, Trade Promotion and International Relations of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry between 2010 to 2016. He was the Managing Director of Claron Events West Africa Limited in 2016, and he became the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Directors Nigeria in 2017, a position he holds till date. He has attended and facilitated numerous capacity development programs, both as a manager and a director within and outside Nigeria. He belongs to the Lagos Business School Association, Institute of Directors Nigeria. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered and an associate member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Ladies and gentlemen, if I continue to read and read, he would not leave here. But of course, the fact remains that he is a powerful man and the right man for the conversation. Please put your hands together for Chief Dele Alimi as he comes on stage to contribute to the panel discussion. A better round of applause. We can do better, please. Thank you. We need to appreciate him for making our time to be a part of this. Thank you very much, sir. The next person I'm about to bring on stage is another powerful woman. But she is duly represented by another powerful man, Mr. Sulaiman Akomu, the Chief Operating Officer, Soul Capital Limited, representing Dr. Bumi Bajomo. And I'd like to read our bio in absentia, and I'd like to crave the indulgence of Mr. Sulaiman to please stand as I read Mrs. Bumi Bajomo's profile. She's the Chief Operating Officer and Group Head of Corporate Banking, EcoBank Transnational Incorporation. She has over 20 years of experience in corporate investment, private and business banking, trade finance, credit administration, stock broking, and portfolio and asset management. She joined ETI from First Bank of Nigeria, where she was Group Head of Corporate Banking for Manufacturing, with direct responsibility for Nigeria and subsidiaries across the bank's global footprint. Her previous roles included Divisional Head and Director of Corporate Banking at Coronation Merchant Bank of Nigeria, Senior Relationship Manager at Citibank Nigeria, where she also established a local corporate business. She was the head of business banking at Stanbic IBTC and has held various senior roles at the Investment Banking and Trust Company. She was also the relationship officer for institutional banking at Guarantee Trust Bank. She started a career as a research analyst at First Bank of Nigeria. She's an economic analyst on Nigerian television and radio and an honorary senior member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. She's also a chartered stockbroker and authorized dealing clerk of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. In conclusion, she holds a bachelor's degree in economics with first-class honors and a PhD in international monetary economics from Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria, and has a master's degree in economics and finance from the University of Warwick, where she was a Shervin scholar. Please put your hands together for Mr. Suleiman as he comes on stage to represent Dr. Bomi Bajamo. I know doctors don't like to be called Miss or Mrs. I know what it takes to be a doctor. So permit me for that oversight. Thank you very much. And lastly on this panel, before I bring on the moderator, is our keynote speaker, who I earlier read his bio, is the founder of Learn Smart and the Chief Innovation. Put your hands together for our keynote speaker for today, Mr. Gio Lawal, as he joined the panel session. Please put your hands together for him. And lastly, I'll be bringing on stage our moderator for today, an amazing young man, the founder of Learn Smart and the Chief Innovations and Operations Director at Didoku International Schools. He earlier introduced himself as an engineer, an entrepreneur, and an innovator committed to advancing education, technology, and community development. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Sonny Adedoku as he will be driving the conversation on this panel session. A round of applause for him.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to this important session of the Family Wealth Conference. But before I start, I'd like to thank the chief host, that's Mr. Ibiemi Matthew, for inviting me here today, not just as the moderator, but as someone who actually needs to learn from the panelists. Because, just like he said, I myself am the only child of business enthusiasts. And playing a key role in my father's engineering firm and our family school, I think it's important that I'm here. So thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, our theme for today centers on one of the most pressing questions of our time, and that is, how do we build wealth that outlives us and empowers next generations? We are living through the largest wealth transfer in history, and over the next 20 years, hundreds of trillions of, not naira, dollars, are expected to pass from one generation to the next in the world. And while this presents incredible opportunities, it also comes with significant challenges around leadership, ownership, asset management, and business continuity. We often hear the saying, the first generation creates wealth, the second develops it, and the third squanders it. But it does not have to be that way. The difference often lies in governance, succession planning, and the clarity of roles and expectations within families. And that is exactly what we'll focus here in the next 45 minutes with the experts. The first panelist for today who will be setting the stage is Chief Dele Alimi. Thank you for joining us today, sir. Yes, sir. With over 3 decades of leadership experience across media, trade promotion, and corporate governance, you've seen why many family businesses rather, collapse. What is the single biggest reason they fail? And what can today's young entrepreneurs like myself do differently?
Thank you very much. And let me also use the opportunity to thank the organizers for this opportunity to be here. You've asked a very, very big question. It's a little bit difficult to ascribe such failure to one main thing. But if we must do that, amongst others, I think one thing that comes top would be failure of succession planning. I think that's the big one in the room in almost every family business. And when I say failure of succession planning, sometimes that failure goes beyond not planning at all. Actually, there are succession planning that actually failed. There is a notion that when you are planning succession in a family business, that succession planning should stay within the family. It's a serious error, especially when you have discovered that nobody in the business, in the family, has the passion for the business. When you realize that, succession planning then should be expanded to include people from outside the family. What you are creating, what you will be creating, is wealth for the family. It doesn't mean that the family has to run that wealth. Today, everybody here mentioned Guinness. Guinness is the name of one man. But if you look at the board of Guinness International all over the world, in the last 25 years, you won't find anybody named Guinness on that board. But till today, that name has remained so significant, and the wealth that the man that created Guinness in 1759 created has remained with the family, even without any one of them running that business. So succession planning is critical, but in planning that succession, people must realize that it doesn't necessarily have to go to your son, to your daughter, to your auntie, or to your niece, or to your nephew. I think we can start with that. But succession planning is the key, what I would call the major area of failure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. From what you have said, you said that realistically you can't streamline the reasons to just one. But if you have to do that, succession planning is a major reason why businesses fail, family businesses fail. And that for succession planning, we should not just streamline it to the family members. We should also look at whether or not family members have passion for the business or not. And I also like the fact that you used a case study. That way, I was able to understand better your points. And the case study was Guinness. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on to the next question. Mr. Sulaiman. Yes, sir. You've seen entrepreneurs succeed and fail as well. What financial habits separate those who build lasting wealth from those who remain stuck in survival mode?
Okay, thank you very much. This is a very vital question. Very, very vital. And your question still exists. Still exists. Okay, when I was talking earlier, I made mention of savings. And I could remember when I was also speaking with BME, we were only having a brief conversation upstairs. And he made mention of a story by Otedola that we all know. That when something came up, he ran back to his savings. Cultivating the habit of savings. Because you are an entrepreneur or an entrepreneurship, or you own a business, does not mean you should not pay yourself a salary. For instance, I am a CEO of an organization. Because I'm the CEO, I have access to the company account. Does not mean I should not pay myself a salary. There must be a financial discipline. There must be a financial discipline. Because I am the sole dictatorship of my organization does not mean I can go to the bank, to the company's account, and pick whatever funds I want. No, absolutely wrong. It means you don't have a financial discipline. But once you have an organization and you streamline it to like, this is my own salary on a monthly basis, regardless of whatever happened, because you have staffs. And this is where we have the issue of transferring wealth to generation. Because by the time I start dipping my hands into the company's funds, there's nothing to be left behind. So financial discipline.
Thank you so much, sir. So, like you said earlier before this panel discussion, I remember you saying that you should save, you are advising us to save at least 20%. So, to the audience, please and please, because I'm also a victim of this. And now I know that 20% is the barest minimum for me to save. Thank you so much for that, sir. Moving on to the next question. Sir Gio Lawal, if I'm correct, yeah? Before I even met him, I saw it on his laptop, co-apt. So, you see, marketing is important for every business as well. Let your business speak for you. So, as a digital transformation strategist and social entrepreneur, you've trained thousands of young people in future-ready skills. What is the one digital skill? What is the one digital tool or mindset that every entrepreneur here must embrace to stay relevant in the wealth race?
Okay, thank you so much. Interestingly, the digital ecosystem keeps changing. And just like we know, we've moved from different levels of evolution. From Web 1.0 to 2.0, now we are in Web 3.0, where we are talking about things like blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, augmented virtual reality, and a couple of others like that. So, but one that seems to actually top the list at the moment, maybe not top the list, but probably put it as that's getting more popularity, is artificial intelligence. Now, that is because, that is why for us at Co-op also, and at Seed Africa, we're taking time to train a lot of young people around it now. And that is because the skill of yesterday, artificial intelligence is now making them, I won't use the word relevant, but changing the direction to how you engage with those skills. I'm going to cite an example. I am not a programmer, but my co-founder, for example, is a programmer and all that. When he was learning programming, I was also to learn programming, but I decided to just pull out and focus more on the business side of technology. So, which is where I focus majorly on. But now, I've decided that, okay, you know what, I'm going into artificial intelligence because all those skills I didn't learn then. In fact, I thank God I actually did not waste time. Oh, let me not use the word waste time. I thank God I did not have to go to that route. Now I can just sit down straight to artificial intelligence. I build websites, right? I build websites, and before now, it depends on the size of the website. It might take me a week, 2 weeks, but there was a job I did that within less than 10 minutes for a site that would probably have taken me 2 weeks, I was done with that website. Because I used AI. So I would say top of my own list now would be AI, then others can follow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the insight. To add to his point, he said AI. It means you don't need to directly use AI. Use it as a support system for whatever you are doing. And for every business, you can use it. It's not specific to just one business. For my own school, Adedoku International Schools, thankfully my wife is also a programmer. And as a business person, I know how to, use our skills very well. So for the students and for the staff, we have portals, and attendance system, payment system, payroll, database. You understand? AI is helping us throughout the system. Our exams, not the way we set exams, the way the exam is being done. We use CBT in our school just to prepare them for what WIC is trying to do now, what JAMB is doing. So AI can be used in different businesses. Just find out it's going to be functional for your own business. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Now, I believe we are done with the foundations of wealth. Now, going to the second round, which is managing and sustaining wealth. I would like to start with Mr. Sulaiman again. Many young entrepreneurs complain about access to finance. From your vantage point, what practical first steps can they take to position themselves for funding from banks? What practical first steps can they take to position themselves for funding from banks?
Okay. If I'll get you right, source of funds. Right? Good. I believe before you can approach a bank or even an individual for funds, you possibly might have a plan ahead. Something written down that this is what I want to do. You don't just approach someone and say, okay, I need funds. The first question that will come out is, for what? What do you want to do? What is your plan? Or what are your plans? So the first thing is to have a mindset of what you want to do. Have it written down in a blueprint. Start somewhere. Like one of the audience that was telling us about, starting like an estate agent at Oye-Ikiti. Start something. Start somewhere. Have a blueprint. Those are the questions the bank is going to ask you. Have you done anything? Let's see your statement of account. Let's see your funds flow. Once you are able to see that, I can tell you, the government have streamlined banks to the extent that if not commercial bank, you can go to other section of other banks. We have the mortgage bank, we have the agricultural banks, we have others like that. We have the entrepreneurship banks that you can approach. This is the business I have. This is the business idea I have. This is what I've done so far. I need your financial support in growing my business. And I can tell you, you'll definitely get support for it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. A round of applause for that. Yes, sir. Dr. Susan Agu, thank you for joining us today. And it's a privilege to sit down beside you, knowing that you represented someone in Supreme Court before. You have advised at the highest level of law and governance. Many entrepreneurs underestimate legal structures in wealth building. Why is establishing strong legal and governance frameworks so essential to protecting generational wealth?
Very much for that question. And since I didn't have the opportunity of doing so, let me start by thanking the organizers of this program. We are actually very happy and we are very proud of what Matthew is doing with what himself and those that are supporting him, what they are doing with what his father has left behind for him. Let me go straight to your question. Law. The relevance of it in building generational wealth. The truth of the matter is, if you want to build a legacy, that will stand the test of not just the time you are living, but the time after you must do it in accordance with the law. Outside of it, all you have created is at best a time bomb. A dispute waiting to happen, a problem waiting to happen. Law is relevant if you must build your wealth that will last. Now, let me try to simplify it. When I give advice to those who pitch their business, I started off by saying that structure is everything. And when the good pastor, the keynote speaker spoke, he said something, he quoted a scripture. He said, if the foundation be faulty, there is nothing that the righteous can do. You start right, you start off right. And the law has provided opportunities for you to do your business and do it right. You must, at the time when your division is coming, start it off on a very solid legal note. What business do you want to do? What does the law say about the business? The formation is important. By the systems that the law has provided, ownership, control, they are separate. Someone spoke earlier and said, pay yourself salary. What that tells you is that your business is distinct from you. And that is why when a company is formed, the law recognizes the company as an entity distinct from the people, the person that own it. These are all legal concepts that if you imbibe, you won't run into trouble. And so after the company is formed, right, depending on what the business you want to do, the law also provides for governance structures. You don't just run businesses. There are rules, there are codes that you must observe for you to build a lasting business. If you do not run the business in accordance with those codes, it's not rocket science. You don't even need a prediction. It's going to run into trouble. The governance structure of your business must, from beginning, even if it's a family business, board of directors, there are rules that govern them. There are constitution. You must follow them and you must keep to the rules. And when you have continued, perhaps you've acquired trademark, the law also provides for protection of all those things. If you do not register them properly, you cannot protect them. But if you have properly registered them, you have the chances of going against anybody who comes against, who uses it in a way. I mean, News Direct is here. They have all their rights protected, I believe. If anybody should do anything against them, all they need is to talk to their lawyer, and the lawyer knows what to do, right? And then the law also, everybody here has spoken about succession plan. The law is very clear on that. Will is what everybody wants to run away from, isn't it? Because nobody wants to die. But I tell you honestly, it is all just in Nigeria, when everybody wants to make heaven, but nobody wants to die, isn't it? But you see, will is not what you live until old age. We have done matters of prominent families in this country. Children are against one another because the parents didn't leave a will behind. The will system is there. The codicil comes in when a will has been done and something else needs to be corrected, or maybe you need to make an addition. My brother here spoke about trust. Trust is underutilized in this country. He spoke about trust in the context of financial institutions and financial being trustees. Even if you don't want to use finance firms as your trustee, trust simply means that, look, I have this, right? I need to get a trustee to run it, somebody I can trust. And I need him to run this for the benefit of so and so, who are the beneficiaries. We hardly utilize, private trust is hardly utilized. But the big names we also know, and I don't want to mention names in this country, have also understood the advantage of trust. There is a lot you gain when you do. I don't know whether time will allow me, there are tax advantages you gain when you do trust. There are also advantages, probate issues, really. For instance, Mr. A, don't let me use anybody here, mention any name, but let's say Mr. A dies, right? And Mr. A, the children of Mr. A has to administer, maybe he died intestate or died testate. What that means is if someone dies testate, it means he died with a will. If he dies intestate, it means he died without a will. Now, either way, either of these, by the time the person dies and any of the children will have to come in to utilize anything in the estate, there are probate processes that must be followed. There are monies to be paid, right? And time also. But if you have created a trust in the lifetime of that person, you are likely not to run through. Time may never allow me to go into all this detail. But trust is very important. It's one of those tools that the law provides for us to be able to, build generational wealth. Another thing that, we can also see it everywhere. You see foundations. I'm sure someone, I think he's the keynote speaker who is a beneficiary of Tony Lumelu. I don't know if I heard that. These are foundations that living legends are creating. And the law allows you to do this. There are families, aside making their money, they also want to, allow this to run through generations. And they use the platform of foundations, and they are using it to, extend their philanthropy to people. So law you really can never run a generational business if you are not comfortable with the law. And I will always advise people. Some people think that lawyers come in only when there is a dispute in court. No. As a matter of fact, the very big successful businessmen I know, and even the small ones, always have a lawyer by their side. Have a lawyer as a friend. It helps. It solves a lot of problems. There are people I know, they would never take a decision without consulting. It is cheaper for you to consult your lawyer before the dispute arises. When the dispute arises, it is more expensive. I'm a lawyer, so I will tell you the truth. So a lot of people now, you want to go into, even if it's a small business, approach that your young lawyer who is your friend. You know what? I'm going into this business. Can I do a retainer with you? What does retainer means? Retainer means that I'm keeping you you are my lawyer, as in I can call you anytime. It's easier for you to do that. That way, you seek advice before problem arises and not otherwise. Because when there is a problem, that's when lawyers cash out. But when it is about talking, I'm consulting, we are on retainer, all that, what you are paying is at ease. You're not, breaking the bank to do that. So law is actually very time. You know how much time I have without encroaching in the time for others. But I want to encourage us, if you want to run a business that will stand the test of time, embrace the law and do it in accordance with the law. And law has a lot of tools that are assembled for you to utilize. Seek professional counsel and you cannot get it wrong. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wow. There is a lot to learn. But because of our time, I will just summarize what she said again. And she said law is very important. And get a lawyer if you don't have one yet. And it's easy for startups to follow some, guidance, to have a little bit of structure. But if you are running a family business that was passed down to you, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go back and check whether it's following all the necessary, legal structure that you have to follow. Thank you so much, ma. I appreciate you. Moving on to Mr. Sulaimon. Sir, beyond traditional savings, my 20% starting now, what financial instruments, not just necessarily liquids, whether bonds, funds, or other tools, should young entrepreneurs be considering if they want to multiply wealth securely?
Let me just go straight to the answer. We have treasury bills. We have fixed deposits. You can lock your funds. 90 days. There are competitive interest rates outside there. Seek. Go to Bank K. What's the interest rate? I have 500K. Don't be ashamed of the funds you have. Having 100K is a lot. I want to fix 100K. How much is it going to give me at the end of 90 days? What's the interest rate? Bank A, Bank B, Bank C. What's the interest rate? Lock your money for 90 days. Because that 100K, if you still have it in your pocket, you will spend it unaccounted for. That is the answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I believe these new fintechs have something like that. OPay, PalmPay. So I think it's the same thing as what is saying. We should try to do that rather than just spending our money or trying to keep it normally. If you see that money, you'll be willing to spend it quickly, just like myself. Now, the last round of the questions, succession and transition. Just like the keynote speaker said in his speech, he said that building wealth is one thing, but transferring it across generations is often where families stumble. Now, again to you, ma, Dr. Susan Agu. Succession is often the Achilles heels of family businesses. What legal frameworks? I think we've asked this question before. What legal frameworks should entrepreneurs put in place early to ensure smooth transition and avoid family conflict later? Yes, more specific.
Speaking to specifics now, I had legal frameworks to ensure that the business run. First, I would say that at the very beginning, have your company registered, okay? Have your tax issues properly. First, keep your books right. I'm not an accountant, but I will tell you, keep your books right. Because the issue of taxes will surely come in. Now, your obligation to pay tax is incidental on your records. That is why your records will have to be kept properly. Now, after complying with your law on formation, comply with your law on bookkeeping, and then keep to the fiscal policy taxes as to when paying them as at when due. File your returns properly, okay? And then when you have to get professionals in running the business, so that in employment, if you need to, you keep to. There are also employment laws you have to comply with, okay? Those are some of the things you have to do in terms of legal framework. But I also want to say this. When you run a business, the law comes into your aid. The law comes in to guide how you lead. If a leadership of a business does not keep in mind transmission and succession, they will run the business for today and not for tomorrow. The business of today has to be run in a way that is adaptive, in the sense that what you are doing today, things are changing. Someone spoke earlier as to, in terms of what has happened generationally in the software industry. It is also affecting businesses. There are companies who started off doing what is in 1.0. Today we are in 3.0. The businesses are going back, isn't it? So when we are running our business, we should also be mindful that stewardship is important. The money in our hands today is also for the generation that is coming. So we run all of that. So the law that would keep all of this intact is the law. Most companies, and you know that a lot of companies will have their company secretariat. You employ a company secretary who is a lawyer that will guide you and ensure that you are filing returns as at when due. Tax officials will not come after you if your returns are properly filed. It is when it is not properly filed that they bring in the best of judgments idea, and that cannot favor you. So, law and keeping your business in line with the law cannot be overemphasized. I think with that, we would have answered that your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much. You really did answer my question. And she mentioned Nigeria is, at the moment, taking tax very seriously. So regardless of what your business is, if you are into stationery, if you are into whatever, please and please try as much as possible to understand what the tax says about your business. Thank you, ma. Now, Sir Chief Dele Alimi, you've just handed over as the Director General of the Institute of Directors in Nigeria, if I'm correct. Yes, sir. In your experience, what leadership traits, what structure should be put in place to help entrepreneurs inspire trust and build legacies that outlive them?
Thank you very much. And I'm glad you corrected the impression. I actually have left the Charter Council of Directors Nigeria. I left about 3 weeks ago as the DG. So, and I spent 8 years there. And I think one critical, I talked about the last time I spoke, I said something about building, what did we say then? I talked about succession planning. But I think now, you can say I'm getting older, I'm forgetting this. Now, it's about the structure of the organization. I know we have, one way or the other, talked about that here. And I think at the start, most entrepreneurs start with ideas, which is born out of passion. But the moment it becomes a business, it has gone beyond ideas and passion. It is now serious business. A business that is now regarded, especially if it's registered. Once you've registered a business, it's out of your hand, whether you like it or not. What you have done is to put it in the public sphere, even if it's not a public liability company. If it's a limited liability company, the public, which is now government, has a role to play in ensuring that you are contributing to the betterment of the society. And one way you are doing that is, one, you have employed staff, you are paying salaries, and if possible, we talk about areas of financing the other time. One area we didn't talk about is also attracting investment into your organization. Sometimes it's not just about loan. Somebody spoke here a few minutes ago, and somebody is already indicating interest in investing. Those are wonderful ways to expand your business. What that also means is that somebody is watching, that whoever is putting his or her money in your business is not at risk. So you have to have a structure from the beginning. As the company is expanding, you can see that this company is growing beyond you. And I'll give you an example. As an employee of the CIOD Nigeria, I am not allowed to do any other business. But of course, I had my own organization that I registered a long time ago that my family was running. My wife was running the business. And when I retired, she said, now you are back. I'm no longer going to be the MD. I said, no, you remain the MD of the company. Because one thing I've learned is you should run, I run my own family business as if I was never there. And I think, even if I say so now, though I was not part of that, I know Mr. Ibiyemi must have run that business, News Direct, as if he was not there. And that is why News Direct is still here today, even when it's with the Lord. And I think that structure that has been put in place, it can be as simple as talking about the hierarchy in the organization. Creating a business separate from the individual. I'm just trying to break it down. I want to use language that we understand. You don't necessarily have to create a board immediately. From my experience, once you go to people and you say you have to create a board, the next thing is, after I have suffered, I'm now going to bring in some people to come and be collecting my money. You may not need to create a board immediately. Even if you are creating a board, you can create a board that is called advisory. People who know you. People who are ready to support you. People who are not going to ask you for a farthing. But people that you can go to. You can also create a mentoring program for yourself where you select people who have successfully managed their businesses and can become your mentor. You can join organizations that have free mentoring program. For example, the organization I just left, CIOD Nigeria, has a free mentoring program. And I can tell you the kind of mentors that are on those programs are mentors with decades of experience in management who are now giving back to the society. They're not going to be collecting a farthing from you. So they will help you put a structure in place that will ensure that no matter what, there is a system that will survive. And also businesses today must realize, after COVID, we realize that you must have a situation where you'll be able to assess the risk that your business run at all time. And structure those risks in such a way that you don't be an ostrich. Don't be an ostrich. There is reputational risk, there is financial risk, there is human risk. You must put down everything in black and white. And ask yourself, what is the likelihood that this risk may occur? If it occurs, what is the implication for the business? And outside that, what is the mitigation that we have? The truth of the matter is that having that risk in play, risk register, we call it register, that is technical name, does not mean it cannot or may not happen. But what it will mean is if it happens, you are ready. You are ready to mitigate it. You say, okay, if this happens, we will do this. For example, people now run business without even an office anywhere. That is what COVID has taught us. Before then, nobody knew we could do that. No business plan that anybody had, no risk plan that you had prepared us for COVID. We had organizations who never survived it. We had those who survived it. So that structure must be in place. And the next thing I will say is that structure must also have a recovery plan. A recovery plan. I know a pharmaceutical company that when COVID happened, tweaked their plant to start producing hand sanitizers, cleaning agents, and nose mask. And they made during COVID, when everybody was groaning. They made billions. So it's important that as you move along, you must put a structure in place. Who is the head? Even if your children are going to be involved, what role are you giving each child? If your wife is going to be involved, what role is your wife getting in this business? And that must be very clear. There is nothing like, sometimes when you're having a meeting in a family business, it may be across the dining, it may be on the dining table. But even then, those structures must be in place to tell everybody what their roles are. And I can tell you, and I'm speaking from experience, when you are discussing family business, it's not that rosy. Any family business that is being discussed and all of you are smiling, you are lying to yourselves. You are going to almost sometimes emotionally attack each other. Because you know each other, unlike two board of directors who are coming from, one is coming from Asaba, one is coming, they don't know each other. But Dele knows today. Today is the senior brother, and you are at the table. Maybe that's why your girlfriend left you the other time. No, I'm sorry. Those are the kind of things you hear when you're having a family meeting. I'm telling you. You see, you never listen. That was why your girlfriend left you. Can that happen on a board that don't know each other? No, it can't. But because they know each other, those things will come in. And somebody must sit on top of that table to address and preside and tell everyone. So that structure is critical. And as you are moving that structure, don't always let people know. You see, succession too is key, but let everybody know at that point who is succeeding. Let people know. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most senior person. I know a big entrepreneur in Nigeria today. He has his hand in many organizations. And when he named the CEO for one of his rising firm, I was shocked. It was the most junior son that he named as the CEO about 5-6 years ago. And because I know the man, I know the entire family, I was wondering what is going to happen to this family. Today, this organization is number one in the sector after naming that young man the CEO. And I see the camaraderie that was between the family. Today, even the most senior person is making money because he's a shareholder in the company, because the company is rising. So it is important that you must identify who the successor is. who has the passion, who has the knack, either through experience, either through education. It must be deliberate. Or else, when you go, they will fight and the company will fold up. So I think that's all I can say about that for now. Thank you.
A round of applause. A round of applause. That was very detailed. Very, very detailed. Chief Dele Alimi is a very outspoken and very good and coherent speaker. In whatever you do, please try to join communities and places that will uplift you. And that is because I was listening to him, I'm like, I had somewhere before, if you want to be a good speaker, it's a song. Join something. And that's why I joined that thing. And that thing is called Rotary. And now I can see, he's my mentor. He's a Rotarian. So permit me to introduce myself, sir. I'm a Rotarian, a Polaris fellow. And thank you so much for the insights again. You said something about having an advisory team and mentoring program. You can have people that can advise you. I go to Matthew when I need some piece of advice. He comes to me, and I have a few friends like that we discuss, also in Rotary. He said something, amongst everything that he also said, he tried to let you know that you should look for opportunities amidst the challenges. And it's a story I would like to also chip in a second. When COVID came, that was in, it started, I think, November or so in China, before it came to Nigeria. Then, by January, I left my school. I was still in Bells University. I left, and I went back home and told my dad, because I call my dad chairman, this COVID will affect school business. Because if they chase everybody home, how are we going to run the school? What can we do? Because it's coming. There's no way to not come. People are traveling from China. He said, okay, how can we do it? Then we devised a means. Let's see if online classes will work. Okay, online classes will work. Okay, how do we do it? But parents will find it difficult to pay this and that, and we still have to pay our staff to retain staff. If not, they will start looking for other opportunities. What can we do? Then we thought about it. This thermometer will come to Nigeria, because the videos that China were showing us was they were always scanning themselves before they enter buildings. And luckily for me, my dad knows how to ship things from China very cheap. And then he brought them in, like over 10,000 of these thermometers. And with very little marketing, because it's in need at that time. Very little marketing. We sold almost everything. In fact, we didn't sell everything. We sold, I think, 4,000. It remained 6,000. And we already made a lot of profits. A lot of profit. We just started dashing the rest out. And that profit was what we used to pay salary and also sustain ourselves. So in all you do, look for opportunities amidst challenges. Now, lastly, before we end the panel session, in one line each, starting with our keynote speaker, down to Dr. Susan Agu, what is your best advice for we, the young entrepreneurs in this room, who want to turn their daily hustle into generational wealth?
Okay. Though I know you said in one line, I've seriously been waiting for the mic to come back here. And, when the pitch session happened, I thought I would be able to, chip in some things, but I was told during the panel session, so permit me, I will not do in one line. So, but since I will be saying this and handing over the mic, I will probably do that together. And your question still relates to it. Because I was just trying to put my mind down while everyone was speaking, just trying to note some things. So quickly, I'm just going to say for every young person here, including myself and entrepreneurs like myself who are also in this room, it's good to dream big. It's very, very important. But it's better you take the steps gradually. There's no crime in dreaming big. Dream global. It's very fantastic. Permit me, I will say, like the Bible said, say, thou, Lord God, go to the hands and learn their ways. It's good, but always find a way. As little as the hands are, they also have their own strategy. So strategy is very, very important. And the capital, because for every business person, we always clamor on the need for capital. Yes, capital is very, very important. But the capital that you need is not just finance. because a lot of time we focus majorly on finance. Now, I group that capital into about 4: your social capital, your knowledge capital, your emotional capital, and of course, the financial capital. Permit me quickly. The social capital, your network, your experience, your relationship, and you probably will not be expecting this, your social media. Is actually, maybe the usual speakers will not add social media as a social capital, but I will tell you, in this 21st century, in this digital world, your social media is also your social capital. When people go there, what can they say about you? Knowledge capital. Can you improve what you know? Your business innovation skill, your business tool, your business idea of business governance, business structure, business plan. Can you equip your knowledge around this? You don't need just finance. You need these are very, very important. Emotional capital. Your family. I am here today. I don't know. I keep saying I'm here today with my wife. It's part of the emotional capital. You don't know how important it is. Imagine as a man, you are trying to get money and everything, and when you get back home, you are not having the family to support you. You are in soup. So it's very, very important. The emotional capital is there. The friends, those that you have around you, are they people that can support the work that you do? My business partner, we've been working together for 8 years now, and we've never had an issue for once. He's my closest friend, apart from my wife, of course. Then your emotional capital, so your foes, you usually have enemies. You must also put them, they are important to also help you to move forward. If not, you'll be too comfortable and too relaxed. And the same thing is also with competitors. You need to know your competitors. Who are your competitors? Everything will not be rosy. Somebody wants to outshine you. It's business. I'm a Christian, but the truth is, business world is not about Christianity. It's not about Muslims, it's not about your religion. It's purely business. You must know who is going to outshine you, who do you want to outshine. And how to plan for the unforeseen circumstances. When, like Chief Alimi said, when COVID came, how many of us were prepared for it? A lot of people lost their businesses because at that point it's just a matter of, had I know, oh God. So it's part of the emotional things you have to plan for. When this thing comes up, how can I guide myself and be prepared for it? I'm sorry, I'm just going to wrap up now. And the financial capital, where I'm going to stop. Like I said, everything doesn't have to be about looking for money. Can you bootstrap? And I'm going to quickly cite Co-opt as an example. When we started Co-opt, what we wanted to do was just to build a platform. Just to build a platform that people can come in and do some stuff. But it wasn't working. So someone gave me an advice, and I thank God I took hold of that advice. We had to strategize that what can we do? What skills do we have? We are good in tech. So while we've used the tech to build a platform, what if we use that same tech to offer services for people and get money from it? And I can tell you now, we've done that for 3, 4, 5 years now, helping organizations that we even have clients outside Nigeria, UK, US, Canada, and the rest of that. Now, we have now built the platform, which will be launching very, very soon, which was something we were unable to do, but we have to bootstrap. We just leave idea of looking for fund and all that. Bootstrap, raise fund internally. Now I can clearly tell you that we have 10 people that are working for Co-opt, and we are sustaining the company conveniently. So it's very, very important. Friends and families, those around you, the little 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 to support you can go a long way. Crowdfunding. That is where your social capital also can come in to help you out. Your social media platform, can people see you as an authority? They know you. Can they, when you then say, I need money, can people support you? We did something recently. I thank God for an idea God gave me recently this year. We started doing trainings for organizations, free of charge. Free of charge. You just say, just come. We did one just last month on AI, 3 days training, free of charge. People came and just make a commitment fee of 10,000. And I can tell you that we've gotten jobs worth millions just from that same thing. So that really helped. I'm wrapping up. Grants of just like these are free money. Free money. We got one. It really helped us a lot. So please check them out. Investment. A lot of time we always want to do for investment. But I would tell you that is not That is not what, if you're just starting, that is not where you want to put your attention. If not, you will get weak, you get tired, apply proposal and all those things. You're not coming, you're not seeing results. You feel like giving up. Just look for other means, and of course, loan. I personally don't usually advise loan. I know maybe Mr. Sulaiman may not want to agree with me because that is where they make their own money from. You understand? But as a young business person, try as much as possible to avoid loan. You try as much as possible to avoid loan. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And network. Please, network is very, very important. Network is very, very important. I belong to a network. I know I heard him talking about Rotary. You don't know how these networks can actually help you to save a lot. What you probably need to spend money from. I can just talk to somebody from this network. Come speak for me. Come help me with this. Instead of paying you 1 million naira, I just send you money for data. And we are good to go. And I'm going to go back and still make money for my business. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm just going to speak briefly on what he said on loan. You know, we have different motives for loans. If, as an entrepreneur, I want to access a loan, I'm not collecting loan for a party. I'm not collecting loan for clothes or for house rent. No, we have one organization on the island that gives loans to secure house rent. Yeah, we have them like that. So if you are actually looking for a loan or you want to access a loan, a credit facility, have you worked out your account? This business I want to invest or I want to get loan from, what is the interest on the loan? How much is this business going to give me as return? Is the profit or will the monthly profit covers the interest repayment on a monthly basis? If I'm collecting a loan of 1 million naira for 6 months, and my monthly repayment is, say, let's say, for example, 150,000 naira, will the fish pond give me 180,000 naira? Will it give me 200,000 naira? After repayment, considering the risk, setting aside some funds for the risk, what will I get? Can the business pay the interest? If yes, it's good to go. It is perfectly good to go. So, my dear brother. So, on a straight line, like I said earlier, thank God we have because right now, I'm actually taking both of them as my mentor, aside Dr. Bumi that I have. Have a mentor. Seek knowledge. And don't give up. Where they are today, a lot of challenges. Sleepless nights. The days of, can I do this? I can't. Don't give up. Thank you.
Thank you very much again for the opportunity. I don't know whether I will be able to do this in one line, but what I will trick you all by putting conjunction and things. I will use and everything, so you think it's one sentence. 3 years ago, I actually run a farm. I run a piggery farm. I have fish ponds. And I sat down and thought about how to meet a need. And this is where I'm going. Your business should not be just because you want to make money. Your business should be about meeting a need. When you meet needs, money will come, wealth will come. So I had this piggery, and my thought was, how do I meet needs? And I had a lot of friends who actually were interested in going into agriculture but do not have the time. So what did I do? I came up with a plan. I said, look, let's have what I call piggery investment. And you invest with me. This is how much you take. I will buy you a sow. A sow will cost you this much. A sow is expected to give birth to this number of piglets in 1 year. If we sell it at that time, this is what you to come to. So you pay this much. I promise you, if you invest with this, at the end of that year, you will get this. When I started my sow, I had about just 50 sows in my farm. You won't believe it. In 1 year, the sow went to 150. And 2/3 of that belonged to other people. But you know the wonderful thing? I was able to do that investment, gave everybody their money at the end of that first year, and I asked them, so this is your money for the first 1 year. If you want to take everything, this is how much you are getting, like I promised you before. But if you want to reinvest, I will take this amount as your investment and you will get this amount. All of them reinvested for a second year. Everybody. Nobody said, no, I don't want to reinvest. Just last year, I paid everybody off their money. They said they want to reinvest. I said, no, please. It is because, and I'm telling you, I met that need. I paid everybody their money. That is integrity. You must keep it. Even if it did not work out, I'm telling you this, even if it did not work out, make sure you meet your promise that you made. So I made that promise. Now everybody is saying, we want to come back, I said, no, I want to rest for 1 year. But you know the funniest thing? I have paid their money. Those sows are still in my farm. They have sold the sows to me. So anything that happens with the sow now belongs to me. I just gave that as an example of meeting needs. And when you meet needs, it translates to wealth for you. So as you are going into your business, try to meet needs. Don't just think about, I want to get something to provide food for my table. No. I want to get something that will allow me to buy Benz. No. It is not enough. Meet a need. And even as you are meeting the need, continue to look at how that business can grow. It is important. And like my friend here said, never, never give up. It's not an option. Thank you.
Well, since everybody have spoken, I may just try to give a summary. And I will start with a proverb. Not the typical proverb. There's a Chinese proverb that says that the best time to have planted a tree is 20 years ago. But the next best time is when? Now. I want to believe that all of us who made our time to be here are interested in creating wealth that would outlive us. So I would then ask us, the time to start is now. Going by all that we have heard, all that we have learned, all that we have unlearned, because I believe that there are things we need to necessarily unlearn. Going by what we have all learned, the time to begin to think of a tree of investment to plant is now. And that investment must be one, that tree investment. It doesn't have to be the one that all of us will sit under the shade. It may be a tree of investment that the next generation will sit under. And that is how generational wealth begins to come about. Nobody here is too young to think of creating a business that will be spoken about in 100 years. But while we do that, I want to give you this to take away. A life's work, a life's investment becomes legacy only when it is secured by law. Remember, make your lawyer your friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma. Yes. When people want to round up something, they say, I believe you've learned one or two things from... No. I want to believe we've learned a lot from this panel discussion. Am I right? Yes. I've learned a lot as well. And to summarize the final aspect of the discussion, they said, Gio Lawal said that there are different types of capitals. From what I heard, he said emotional, social, knowledge, financial. And he mentioned something that emotional, I want us to take that very seriously. There's a difference between IQ and EQ. intellectual quotient and emotional quotient. Both of them are key in business, and you should go and look at it. I myself will go and look at it as well. He also said something about loan. He said, and okay. No, I'm not. I want to mention a very good point. He said something that before you take a loan, have a strategy, right? And it's important. The second thing that one needs to do is prayer. Prayer is key. And I will explain why. A case study. If you get a contract from a company, let's say government, right? And then the contract is maybe 100 million, and then for you to do it, you need like 40 million to do it. And you're like, okay, because of the milestone of their payment, it works for you. You can get a loan. And now when you secure the loan, you start the project, government now refuse to pay at the right time. They will pay you, but they refuse to pay at the right time. Let's say they pay 6 months after. The interest of the loan would have started climbing, and then you see that it's turned back to what? Loss. So let's take prayer seriously. Let's take prayer seriously in whatever we do. And as my father in Rotary also said, he said that business is not just about making money. That is the meaning, make profit, but that should not be the only reason why we are into business. One of the major reasons why we should be into business is you should be able to meet needs. And there's this thing I learned when I was studying innovation management and entrepreneurship. It goes this way: create value. That's the first thing. Meet needs. Deliver it efficiently. And then the last thing, which is your profit, is capture value. So create value is one of the first things you should think of before you start a business. Thank you so much for that as well, sir. And Dr. Susan Ago said that don't start later, start now. So far is a smart idea. Smart in the sense that it's specific, measurable, and so far is a smart idea. As Nike's slogan says, just do it. So far it is a smart idea. And she gave us a question to go on with, which is, a life investment becomes a legacy only when it is what? Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. A round of applause for them.
Wow, I think they deserve another round of applause. This was not just a panel discussion, it was power-packed. And I think our moderator also deserves another round of applause. He didn't just moderate, but he kept on reiterating the points made by each of the panelists. So please, a better round of applause for all of our panelists and our moderators. So we would like to pose for pictures. Our moderator can stand in the middle while the executive director also join in. Our photographers, all right. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be a part of this. We're grateful, we honor you, and we do not take your time for granted. This panel discussion was indeed needful and it was essential. And I believe that every business owner in the room must have learned one or two things, not even one or two, hundreds of things on this panel session.
Oh, good news. The chariots coming, good news. The chariots coming, good news. The chariots coming, and I don't want it to leave me behind. Well, good news.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our panelists and our moderators as they return to their seats. All right, Sam, before you return to your seat, I'd like to take questions from the audience, maybe one or two. Is there anybody who has question? One, two. Okay. So we'll take two questions.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, my question to Dr. Ago. I hope I'm right. Yeah. You know, legal framework in Nigeria most times is a very big problem to businessmen and women, you know, and the lack of knowledge as well. So in the area of tax is an issue because we are not getting any benefit from the government, and when they will come for you for tax, how much are you making for you to be remitting this kind of tax? So which advice will you give to us that is just starting up in the area of tax so that we will not be paying much? Okay, I myself am into travel. I'm a travel agent. So I know how it is. When a client will pay money for flight ticket, maybe like 2 million. And when they come, they will tell you that this is your money. So you tell them, look at the in and out of the money. This is how much I'm making from this. But they don't want to hear. So in this area, what is your advice, ma? Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I want to appreciate all our speakers today. So my question goes to this daddy, Mr. Dele Alime. Yes, while you were making the discussion, you advised us to always embrace a mentorship program. And along the line, you were trying to mention a particular initiative that give out mentorship free of charge. But I couldn't capture the name. That is the first question. Then the second question, owing to the background of Nigeria's situation in terms of succession plan and Africanization, let me put it that way, how do we navigate where the issue of fear and trust becomes an issue? At a point you mentioned that sometimes you need to let us know who is succeeding you earlier. Whereas in Africa, it's a serious taboo because all lies on the person. So how do we navigate in such situation? Then, may I ask this question? Is church as an organization a business? Whereby the issue of succession plan, as far as church as an organization, is something serious as far as Nigeria is concerned. So is church a business? Because some of us are pastors, and we have all these challenges as far as the succession plan is concerned, whereby you will be working with an organization such as church, and you will be having problem concerning your future as far as that organization itself is concerned. So I think that is my question. Then in the area of legal, thank you very much, Mommy. Let me say this. I remember when I was in HR department of Obasanjo Olden, I used to think, because this is my Oga office, HR office, then the next thing is legal office. And for crying out loud, why are we having until even if we are about to write appointment letter, my HR will take the content of that letter to the lawyer. When I was posted to my unit, when some things started happening, you will go to station one time or the other. But before you go, make sure you call the lawyer so that he will put you through. So please, let not jeopardize legal consideration in business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So I would hand over to our panelists to answer the questions.
Let me start with my brother who asked a question on tax and business. I know that people don't like paying tax. I don't even like paying tax myself, right? But tax, just like you talk about rights, I'm sure all of us know that we have rights, isn't it? Fundamental rights in the Constitution and all of that. So as rights exist, there are also duties, there are also obligations. Tax, incidentally, is one of those civic duties we must perform, okay? And taxes are statutory. Nobody would ask you to pay any tax if it is not backed by law. In fact, that's where to start. If anybody makes any demand on you that is not supported by law, you are entitled to say no. Okay? But having said that, there are laws that provide for taxes. Individually, there is PITA. And when I say PITA, I mean personal income tax, right? So when you earn, from what you earn, there is a percentage of it that is paid. That money is paid. It is from there that the government ought to work and provide for you the basic amenities that you need as human. The issue of whether government is doing it, I'm not sure it is covered by the theme of this conference today. Because I know that if I'm to give my opinion on that, we could spend the whole day here. But as to the necessity for tax, I will tell you. In fact, it is a crime not to pay your tax. It is not a crime to try to mitigate or try to find a smaller tax. Okay, I don't want to use the legal words. But it is a crime to run away from paying your tax. All right? Now, how to manage the issue of payment of tax as business is actually simple. Start right. Keep record. The truth of the matter is that if you keep record as a business owner, you would actually, because the law, and like I said, I don't want to go into details, the law makes provision for you as a small business owner, such that if you keep proper record, unless your profits exceed certain threshold, you may not even be paying anything. It is only that people don't keep that record. And when you don't keep that record, what you now do is that you now leave the fiscal authorities, the tax people, to assume. And once they begin to assume, there's a provision in the law that says they should use their best of judgment. So they can look at you, well dressed with your beautiful suit and all of that, and they tell you, look, the way I'm looking at you now, you made 100 million naira. And they will now use their best of judgment and say, pay us this. But if as they come into your office, in fact, you don't need to wait for them to come into your office. There are returns you are supposed to be making. If you make your returns properly, believe me, people who do that, they don't run into. And that's why, if you cannot do it, it's part of the succession plan we're talking about here. It's also part of the structure. Get professionals who would help you do it. They don't have to be resuming in your office every day. You can engage them for the purpose of filing your returns every month, because you know you will not have the time. They know the timeline. They know when they are supposed to do it. All you need is to furnish them with the information, and they forward the returns. Once you are forwarding your returns to those, it is when they do not see. And you know, our system is integrated. Government may not do all things right, but one thing I tell you they do right is to track your movement, your money movements. They may not get every other thing right, but they get that one right. Just like you are driving past this whatever now, there's a camera watching you when you... Government is always... They are prompt when it comes to where they will get their money, right? Keep your own. File your return. That's the advice I will give any business. And I said it here when I started. Start right from beginning and put your structures. Once you do that, you don't run into trouble. Company income tax, if you do you right, if you do not hit certain threshold as your profit, you are not obliged. And even when you do, and records are properly filed, and you have professionals handling a lot of people don't want to engage professionals. That's the problem. They think they can handle it by themselves, or they think they can conceal. Nothing is concealable when it comes to flow of money and everything. They will come for you eventually. It could be 10 years after. It could be 2 years after, but they will come because that record is there. We all do transact businesses with our accounts. Those things are integrated. They monitor it. Okay, so without saying much, I would only say, sir, if you keep your record right, obligations to pay tax are statutory. Nobody will ask you to pay because you collected 2 million naira to book flight. There's what the law requires of that money is a VAT. How much percentage is VAT? So when you keep that in mind, so these things are all we need to do. Do it right from beginning. Use proper structure and employ people if you need to, or engage them as an aside, you don't have to have them under your daily pay, but engage people. Make it go round. That way you won't run into trouble. And I leave you with the last word. Make your lawyer your friend. My brother here had said it. People think, what do lawyers do? Honestly, lawyers do a lot. When you make your lawyer your friend, you will not run into trouble because he would tell you what to do to circumvent, to even avoid the trouble. That's what the lawyers do. I mean, I'm a lawyer. If I have to come to world 10 times, I will still be a lawyer. You know why? It gives you a lot of knowledge. It gives you a lot of leverage. It makes you understand certain things and know what to do, how not to step into certain things. So make your lawyer your friend. Thank you very much.
Zanago, thank you so much, Ma, for that beautiful answer.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll just go straight to the many questions that my guy here asked. And on the issue of the mentoring program, the organization I mentioned is the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. People actually look at that organization and say it's an elitist organization. And it's not that elitist. Anybody that is, the Kama describe a director as somebody that is owning a business. That's the simple thing. Once you register a business, you are a director. And when you belong to an organization like CLD Nigeria, what it means is that you are belonging to an organization that has people like you. Your networking opportunity improves. The next question, the next thing I hear is, oh, it's so expensive to join. And I agree with you. To join today, you have to spend 680,000 naira. I don't think that is a lot of money. But of course, for a small businessman, it is a lot of money. But they also have an avenue for you young directors. It is called the Young Directors Forum of the Institute of Directors Nigeria. And to join that, I think is about 50,000 naira. To join the Young Directors Forum of the Institute of Directors Nigeria. And that is where the mentoring program is domiciled. So if you join the Young Directors Forum of the Institute of Directors Nigeria, you also apply for the mentorship program. And you are assigned to a mentor. And those mentors are people who have run organizations for 30, 20. I don't think there is I am one of them. And I don't think any of us has run organization for less than 15 years. And they are available at least to engage with you not less than 3 times in a month. Free. So you can ask them any question. And if you fraternize very well with them, you may get to a situation where you can call them anytime you need help. The 3 times I'm talking about is they are able to have a one-on-one physical engagement with you at least 3 times in a month, which I think is a wonderful thing. So consider it, the Young Directors Forum. You could Google it, Young Directors Forum of the Chartered Institute of Directors Nigeria, and you get a lot of information on that. On the issue of succession and trust and African system, of course we're Africans. And we cannot run away from the fact that when you create a situation where somebody looks like your favorite out of all the children. And I think one thing that is important is that you should not create that kind of impression. And I will use myself as an example. I have 2 organizations that are in Rome, or that I registered. One is into consultancy. We do a lot of management of exhibitions and trade fairs. The other is basically farming. I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And naturally, one of them flowed towards the consultancy business. The other flowed naturally towards banking. Towards agriculture. And in the house, I joke around with them. And I said, if I'm sharing my property today, which one will you take? My son that is close to me in agri will say, thank God that these other people, they don't even know where the land is. I will take all the farm immediately. And the other guy that we call Prof, we call him Prof in the house. Of course, that is natural. Because as I speak with you, he's the one that is basically running the arm that is into consultancy. I have shared the business. I'm telling you, today, when we talk Greek, my first son who runs the concern, he just stands up and leaves us. Are you getting my point? So naturally, you have shared the business even while you are still alive. And I think that's an approach that people can take. By the time you discuss this business in front of everybody, and somebody is the one coming up with the idea, is the one, naturally, everybody will start dovetailing to that person. That is now me. I have one wife who. There is the intricate part of it. There is a very top part of it where you now have somebody who has many wives and many children. Then you start asking yourself, what should your succession plan be? It may be your current general manager. That is your succession plan. Where your children have shares in the company, but they are not the one running the company. So, I'm sorry if I'm going to use a Yoruba word here, but maybe I would try and do some transliteration. Even it is from the Bible. It means, I don't know, my pastor, where is that in? I don't know how to say it, but you must be wise in taking your decisions. There are people who actually had succession plan, but fell flat in their face because they were not wise while they were doing it. So you must be wise and must use your wisdom. So is the church a business? A church is an organization. And any organization we may not call it a business, but it's an organization, and every organization requires succession. If the church is registered by one man, let's get it straight. I know it's difficult because when you want to incorporate a church, it's a trustee. But then, if the church is basically owned by one man, it does not owe anybody. That succession should spread across. But from my own personal experience, if it's a church, I believe church belongs to God, not to man. It is the most spiritual person that should take over the running of a church. And I think that is the way succession should be planned in churches, that it is the spiritual person. But then, even as you are doing succession in a church, it is not only the spiritual aspect that you are succeeding. There's the administrative part of it. There's the administrative part of the church. Look at the Act of the Apostles. The Act of the Apostles. You will see that various roles were assigned to different people. And that is why I call it an organization. So if it's an organization, you must look at it very well and say, okay, what does this church need to survive? It's not just the preacher that the church needs to survive. It's not just the preacher. You need your accountant. You need your administrator. So as we are planning succession also in the church, think that deep and make sure that everything is well taken care of. But it's not supposed to be a profit-making venture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Dele Alimi. Thank you so much for elaborating on those questions. I believe that we are done with the questions. Thank you so much. And I want us to give a better round of applause to our panelists. They've done so well in time, effort, resources, and contribution. They've made the Family World Conference 2025 a better one. And I think that we need to appreciate them again. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, sir. All right, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us till this very point. So I would like to invite Olasukomi to take over this particular segment where we would be awarding the grant to a lucky business owner today. I believe that pitches are submitted before now, and judges have gone through it, they've listened, and they've picked a rightful owner to the grant for the Family World Conference 2025. We're not done, but we're almost done. We're wrapping up. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much for this opportunity. Good afternoon again, everyone. All right. So it is the time that some of us actually came here for. I know that a lot of you have been expecting when is the business grant going to be given and all of that. But now is the time, right? And I want to just tell us about how we came about, trying to present business grants. News Direct is an organization that is a succeeding organization. It was run by our late founder, the founding publisher. That's late Dr. Samuel Ibiyemi, and now being run by the new ED, that's Mr. Matthew Ibiyemi, which is why we decided that, it's an opportunity to give something out, to be able to support a business, and then we look forward to supporting thriving businesses that can outlive themselves, right? Businesses that can outlive their founder. No matter how little you think this money is, right? It is something to start out something with. And we believe that no matter how little it is, it can at least, help you to build a business that can outlive you, right? So now to the part of presenting the winner. I want you to know that there can only be one winner. As much as it was a very, very difficult decision coming up with just one person, considering the fact that this award is being given to youth and the youth are very competitive in this time, we had so many entries and we decided, okay, how are we going to do this? Which is why I'm very happy that Dr. Suzanne had an opportunity to, gave somebody an opportunity to, invest in our business. I mean, that's a win for us. Thank you very much again, ma. So, yeah, I want to tell us why we decided to pick just one person. We decided to pick the person because, first and foremost, the person's business stands with what we do at News Direct. Given that we are planning to launch a press club very soon in secondary schools in Otta, the person's business is inclined with education, so to say. And we think it's something that we are very, very passionate about. And the other reason is because the person highlights that they were going to give out whatever intake. There is a CSR position about it. Because we have our late founder as a foundation, as is supporting this project. We think that it's another way that aligns with us too, because we are very passionate about giving out to people. So yeah, that is why we pick that lucky winner today. So ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to hear the winner? So welcome with me, Mr. Matthew Oluwatobi Oladeji of the Revelation Knowledge Bookstore. Not your old, sir. Thank you very much. And then I would like my ED to do the presentation, sir.
Thank you for clapping for me. Thank you. I'm presenting the money to myself. Why are you on stage? So, you know what? Before we even decided on the winner for this grant, as of yesterday night, someone was telling me, he said, can we, actually one of our family members said, can we just give everybody 500,000? I said, It's the end of the month. We used to pay salaries. What do you mean we should give everybody? But it was really a very tough choice. And personally, every other person that participated that at least scaled through to at least top 3, we planned on figuring out a way to actually support them also. So if you made it to top 3 only, you are the only ones we will reach out to, not every other person. So on behalf of Nigerian News Direct and on behalf of Samuel BME Foundation, you are the winner of this 500,000 naira grant.
Congratulations to you. And I think the Nigerian News Direct, in collaboration with Samuel Folorunsho BME Foundation, I'm going going to be reintroducing myself as I hand over to this beautiful woman by my right to do the closing remarks. My name once again is Ogunkola Ifeoluwa Esther. You can call me Adasa the Compare without comparison, and it was my distinct pleasure to be your compare for the Family Wealth Conference 2025. And you can connect with me on all social media platforms at Adasa_Lady MC on Instagram. Adasa_Lady MC as in HADASSAH. And I'm going to hand over to this beautiful woman on my right to do the final closing remarks as we call it a wrap.
Thank you. First of all, thank you to everyone that has made out time to attend the Family Wealth Conference. On behalf of the Executive Director and the Board of Directors of Nigerian News Direct, we would like to say a very big thank you for your time, your patience, and your attendance today. We would just like to remind every attendee to please take the survey if you haven't done that yet, and we also want to remind you that you will all be receiving a certificate of participation for being in presence today. Thank you very much once again for making the Family Wealth Conference a success. We look forward to celebrating all and see you soon.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Again, please remember to fill the post-event survey. Check your mail, you'd find it there. I believe that everyone filled the pre-event survey link. So go through your mail, you find it in your inbox. Please do well to fill it. We need the statistics from that survey to plan towards the Family Wealth Conference 2026. Thank you very much, and I wish a safe trip back to our various destinations. And with that, we call the Family Wealth Conference 2025 a big wrap.